So I really don't know what's up with Facebook. I'm not able to go live on Facebook. So if you can watch the show on YouTube, I guess that's the only alternative that we have. Facebook is not it's not right now, it's shut down. It won't allow us to go live. So welcome to Outlaw Radio. Let me see if I can go ahead and promote this on our YouTube channel. On our YouTube channel, which I never do. I never do the YouTube, just YouTube. So let's see if we can switch over. Man, the things you got to go through when you work in these platforms. It's all technical, I guess. Maybe we'll be able to pick up our show when Facebook does allow us to go live. But from right now, you just have to go to the YouTube page. Let me share the YouTube page on Facebook. All right. Kamar, welcome to the show, man. I'm in the midst of a technical battle here with Facebook because Facebook will not allow us to go live. So we're just going to do it on the YouTube and then we'll just have to share the show. But in the meantime, when we can tap into
Yeah.
YouTube, we will. I mean, to Facebook, we will. But we rarely ever go from this YouTube page anyway. So it's probably a good thing that this is happening. Welcome to the show, man. How you doing tonight?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. I just left the Sherman Phoenix. They had a Father's Day thing what they put together, man. It was kind of cool. It wasn't nothing too much for me to eat, but they had food out there. They had some drinks. They had gifts for the fathers out there, man. It was dope. Hey, look, Doe was like, man, shit, I'm finna appreciate this, man. This might be all we get for Father's Day.
Wow.
But it
Oh
was
man.
live though, man. You know, what I mean, it was dope. I did some recorded some footage and put it on my page.
Yeah, man. It's the weather is getting to the point where you can get out and do those type of things. How was your weekend?
It was good too. The weekend was smooth too, man. You know, it was busy but good. You know, busy is what I asked for. If it ain't busy, something wrong.
Right. Well, yeah.
But the weekend was smooth, man. It was real smooth.
Yeah, I just be taking it easy, man. That's what it's all about for me. Just taking it easy. Shout out to you if you're tuning in.
Mhm.
We're live on YouTube. Kamar, we've never done live on YouTube just exclusively because we're always live on Facebook. Dion said, I'm on
Yeah, let's see
YouTube.
how
Fuck
that goes.
Facebook. What's the word? Yeah, Dion said, I'm on YouTube anyways. But it's Outlaw Radio, man. And it's so much to talk about, right? It's so much to talk about. If like where do you even begin in our city? I do want to say first and foremost, rip to my cousin Sean Guyton. They had his funeral this week. I didn't go. Um, I just first of all, I don't like funerals. And I've seen enough of my people, my family, my friends go, my mom, my dad, I've seen enough of that. I just don't like funerals. So if anybody in family is wondering where Kev at and why he woo, I just don't do it has to be somebody who I absolutely have to go and pay my respects. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not saying that my cousin didn't deserve
Hmm.
that. I'm just because I'm trying to get to a positive place. And I just felt like, it would have affected me negatively. So
Yeah.
I didn't go to
Hey man, hey, look, hey, rest easy too, man. You know, I ain't call him Sean. I ain't call him, I ain't even know him by that name. I knew him as
I know
Shitty.
what
You
y'all
know what
call
I'm
him. I
saying?
know, I know what y'all
And I'm gonna
call him.
tell you, man, Shitty was all right with me, man. Shitty
Yeah,
was all right with me.
yeah.
Hey, I went to Atlanta one time, right? And
Uh-oh.
some years back, I went to Atlanta, and I was trying. I couldn't find no smoke. You know what I mean? I was stuck down there,
All right.
so I called up here to Doe. No, I ain't called though. I think we just happened to be talking. I'm like, man, it's fucked up, dog. I ain't got no smoke down here. I ain't never went out of town and couldn't find nothing to smoke on. He
Right.
was like, man, hold on, man. Let me give you Shitty number. Shitty down there. Man, I called Shitty, man. He pulled up. Oh, he was way on the whole other side of Atlanta too, man.
Yeah,
He
man.
showed up for me. He found some smoke, brought me some smoke. He came. He was like, "Dog, you in the hood, nigga? I don't never come around here. He got this big ass pipe on him, man."
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
got to pull this out when I come over here.
Yeah, he
But
gonna
he
ride with
showed
that
up,
thing.
man.
Ride with that thing. Yeah, man. I haven't seen Cuz in a minute.
He was a
Um,
supporter of Nature's Deterrent. I used to
and
send him, ship him a package down there every so often. Yeah, man,
his
he was
other
all right,
2 his
man.
other 2 brothers who also have passed. It's just a very sad thing for me. So I wanted to start the show off by saying, rest in peace to Cuz, man, for life. Um, if you know, you know, man. Like you said, you definitely know him, right? I can tell if somebody
Mhm.
talking to me about him and they know him or if they don't. But yeah, man, and so yeah, man, rest in peace, Cuz, man. Good journey. Um, I congratulate the people who had, a kid who graduated. Because I tried to start the show right on time, but YouTube is still out of flux, so we're just gonna rock YouTube tonight. I mean, Facebook is, so we're just gonna rock YouTube. But yes, congratulations to the people who got kids who graduated. I was seeing people that my baby graduated from first grade, and I'm like, all right, well, push them up there, give them some shine, right? You know, so that happened. Now I don't know. Did you get down to Pride Fest? Did you do any vending down there or what?
Nah. Hey, however, I would have. I ain't got no problem selling cheese to them too.
Right, right, right.
I
I
just, you
just
know what I mean? I just refuse to vend down there on the Summer Summerfest grounds, period. You know what I mean?
okay,
They charge too much
okay.
for the vending fees. They want a percentage off your sales, you know what I'm saying? Also, so nah, I ain't make
Heavy,
it down
heavy,
there to
heavy.
vend for that.
I just didn't know. I didn't know. I know you don't mind slang. You know what I mean? I know you
No,
slang
I
your G.
will. Hey, they tell me
Yeah.
to pull up and pop this table up.
Give some tea down there. They needed vitality down there. I'm just saying. I didn't
Yeah,
know if
they
you had
needed
dinner.
to.
Yeah, man. Um, Listen, we're on Mondays and Wednesdays, right? Like, and so I guess this is like we're on Mondays and Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. We start at 7:30, but that's idealistic when you deal with black people. You just stick around for a minute. We'll let you know if we ain't coming
Yeah,
on.
right.
Right. Ain't no telling. Cause like tonight I had all
They'll be
kinds of
there.
technical shit. Because I'm looking at this and I don't know why YouTube is just I mean, I keep saying YouTube, Facebook is out of whack. So I know people like, where the show? Where the show? I've already put the link up. Just click in on YouTube. It'll be a good thing for y'all to come over here. We need the numbers anyways. But man, to get down to it, man, I want to get the show started off because I've been, I'm oftentimes when during these weekends when I'm just chilling, anytime really, when I'm just chilling, I'm going through news. Like I'm looking at news. I'm looking like I say I live in the Podverse. Dion always get at me and say, "Hey man, okay, so I don't see everything on the internet. I have my pockets that I go into,
It's
right?
impossible. It's
Right. It's impossible.
it's impossible.
Yeah. Dion, absolutely, we can still take calls. It didn't take anything away from the ability to do the show. It's just that it won't go live on Facebook, which is cool. Um, It's actually live on the page, maybe. I don't know. Y'all tune. If y'all on it, this is a good chance for you to go to the Outlaw Radio page too. See, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, so Bun B. If you don't know who Bun B is, Bun B, the legendary rapper from UGK, one of the dopest MCs to ever come from the South, in my opinion. In 2019, I believe he was in his home and he heard a ruckus and he went downstairs to find that a home invader had come in and had his wife at gunpoint. And so whatever happened, happened. And Bun ends up shooting the dude, right? He didn't kill him, but he shot him. And I guess he beat him up and this dude ran and so he got arrested. So his trial came up and Bun took the stand, right? And so now here's this thing, because we go back and forth about this on Outlaw Radio all the time. We do. We go back and forth with this about crime and punishment, and what's a snitch, and should you snitch, and why do you snitch, and then what do we do with the people in the community who are just dysfunctional and all this kind of shit. So this is a conversation that we have. But people, and the streets, the internet ain't the streets. I understand that, but there's a lot of people who say, well, I represent the streets. I'm on here. And so the talk is that Bun is a snitch because he took the stand against this individual, which is unbelievable to me. Right.
It
I
is.
don't know. I don't know Bun B personally, right? So I can't tell you, you know, what he's done or whatever. I don't know. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. But I can tell you wholeheartedly that if I'm in my home and I hear my wife screaming and I go and well, the first thing is that I'm gonna do is what he did. I'm gonna grab the hammer. As soon as I hear her, what's going on? Click, clack, bam. I'm locked and loaded. I'm ready to rock. And when I get there and I see her, somebody with a gun in her head or she's crying and they in my car finna pull out, I too will open fire. Now I said, well, it ain't worth killing her, but we talking about in your home. We're talking about in your house, right?
There you go.
Very interesting night to be me, technically, right? Right now. Let's hope this thing comes back into focus. I don't know. The devil got something against me tonight. So, until my camera gets straight,
Hey
what do you
man,
think about this, Kamar?
first off, like I think it's a problem. I think we have a problem in our community about this whole snitch issue. You know what I'm saying? First off, when you get to a certain age, you shouldn't be doing a bunch of the shit that you used to do. Your life should evolve, right? To where you on some legal shit now. You know what I mean? Your life should evolve to where you got a family, to where you got to take care of your family, and your family is your first responsibility. Um, and you can't call him no snitch because he ain't in the street life no more. He don't do that. He don't run the streets. He don't, you know what I mean, do crime in the streets no more. So, you know what I mean? I feel like if you're a normal civilian, it's not snitching no more. You know, they come in his house, he do what he had to do, and yeah, he had to go take the stand. He just shot somebody. He had to take the stand. You can't shoot nobody and then not take the stand. You know what I'm saying? So, in order for him to get off on the self defense, he would actually have to take the stand. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you know what I mean. And if he don't take the stand, well then no, the information may not never come out to say that it was self defense. So we got to take the stand to explain what happened.
Right. Well, I'm thinking I don't know. It was this individual's trial. I don't know if this was a trial or if Bun has been legally exonerated for the shooting.
Well, that's
I don't know. But I'm to
is
your
even
point.
still
To your point, you said civilian, and I think this is where this line with hip hop and the streets comes into play, right? Where if you're a rapper, or if you're in this hip hop culture, or if you're a supposed street dude or whatever, what have you, the code is you ain't supposed to get up, you're not supposed to testify in court, you're not supposed to talk to police. But I feel like whatever street code we're like fantasizing about or whatever it is that we're trying to do,
exactly what it is.
it
Fantasizing. I love you use that word right
it doesn't exist.
there.
It ju and
Fantasizing about this street code.
yeah, this street code, this
Bullshit.
street code, this,
This
you
motherfucker
know
had a gun to his wife's face or wherever he had it pointed at her. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
What in the
And like
world?
I
Like,
say, he was the one who shot him. So he's gonna have to go in, and the man was in his house. How can he not go take that stand?
right. It doesn't make sense, man. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, this internet, this is where the internet has taken us in 2024, where everything that's supposed to make sense and everything that's supposed to be real is not. Is dysfunctional. And we hold on to this stuff. That's why I keep talking about I'm not one to blame things on like pop culture. I'm really not. But when you start talking about like Grand Theft Auto, or you start talking about rap music, or you start talking about movies, this stuff to me, maybe right now for the first time, I can say has more of an influence over people and their behaviors than it ever has. I don't think it's ever been like, you know what I mean? Like I always say, yeah, well, you make choices. But like I see stuff now, like so on the internet, you hear all this street talk and you hear all this about who's a G, and we've and shout out to all these dudes who do it that are gang members or went through something traumatic and they found a way to really make money off of it by talking about it on YouTube. Hell, more power to you. But people who ain't even in the life, people who don't have no understanding of it, start to have opinions, and those start to become popular opinions. So this snitch shit is just like, Bun, if, even if you used to be a street dude, because obviously he ain't no street dude now. He's a
Mhm.
businessman. He's an
Family
artist.
man,
He's a family man. Hell, he's a husband.
entrepreneur.
Yeah. So is he not? Does he not get? It's still about him snitching. Like I don't know. Let me see. Dion's in the chat. He said Bun is a law-abiding citizen, so he did what's right. But if he was hustling, he know what comes along with it. I
Right.
still think when that man put that gun in your wife's head, you know what I mean? It changes everything in terms of what happens in court. Because, like Kamar said, if you get subpoenaed, you got to go.
You got to go.
You got to go. Ain't no. I don't know what you gonna if you and you're already on record as saying you shot this man.
Right.
So you see, you going, I ain't testifying. Especially, I just think about him saying the most poignant thing he said was that his wife is still traumatized by it to this day, and she didn't deserve it because she's not about that. She's not about, she's
Right.
not a street, whatever. So, man, shout out to dude, man. And if you out there and you think, oh, that's snitching, I don't care, whatever, you a mog. I was watching Willie D, and Willie D was posing this question that we've asked, and we've kind of answered it a million times to say, what do you do with individuals that are counterproductive to the community?
You
You
know what
get
I
rid of them.
think?
You got to get rid of them.
Know what
Like,
I think?
yeah. And so it's like, what do we want? Like, so he was, what do you want? Did you want Bun to kill him? Or did you want him walking free? Individuals like him walking free in the community is just stupid as shit, man. It was just, we got to get on the right side of things, man. We have to get on the right side of things.
Right.
And it's about your perspective too. Perspective is very, very important. Um, so we got to get a hold of that, man. It was just crazy for me to see. That's all. Because I was like, wait a minute, are we
And
serious here?
like it's and it go even deeper too. You know what I mean? Like you talk about shit in your neighborhood, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
You got everyday citizens that's living their life, raising their kids, doing what they supposed to do. They going to work, they coming home, you know what I'm saying? Doing their best out here to make it.
right.
You got some fools outside on the block doing all kind of wild ass shit, shooting guns, motherfuckers getting shot and shit. Like, how do you not protect your block? Like, how do you not protect the place where your kids are supposed to be able to play? You know what I'm saying? Like you can't trust that your kids can go outside and hang out and have a good time, ride their bikes and everything without bullets flying and shit. Who supposed to get rid of that mess? Somebody got to tell on them. You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't one of them, it's okay. You protecting your neighborhood. You protecting your family. That ain't snitch.
Yeah. Even if it is, who cares?
That ain't snitching.
That's what I'm saying. But come on, even if so, it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, say I did snitch.
Right.
If somebody tried to kill my, so what?
Right. Maybe the motherfuckers need to stop doing the shit they doing.
Right. I mean, at this point, I'm old enough to say, man, I don't care about none of that bullshit y'all talk about, man.
Right.
It's. I guess if you've never had a family and you felt the need to be the protector, you don't understand what Bun. I understand what Bun was feeling,
Right.
seeing this youngster in his house. Like, yo, what's going on? I understand what he's feeling. But yeah, man, we got to get on the right side, man. And we need to, when it comes to crime and punishment, we really need to understand. We really need to start saying, okay, here's the line. Don't cross it. If you do, it's consequences. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And whatever they may be, you're gonna have to take it and deal with it. So yeah, but yeah, man, shout out to Bun. And then since 2024 is the year of the put you on blast, right? It's the time where everybody's getting put on blast, and we've seen, and I don't, this some of this does involve snitching because we know that there's individuals who've been convicted of crimes and have agreed to assist the government in, putting other people on blast too, or getting them charged too to lessen their sentences. So Willie Hines, who is the housing director, ahead of the HACM, the Housing Authority in Milwaukee. It's crazy that we've been having this conversation because I've kind of been keeping track on um, you know, him and what's going on with the housing authority. And this includes our mayor as well. And people wonder, like, sometimes they'd be like, "Kev, why why you be going so hard on the mayor? Like, he's another brother. Why you talk shit about him?" And I'm like, because he doesn't believe in being transparent with us. And we have these instances of with MPS, we have the instances with the housing authority in which he states that, he from what he heard, everything was good and the progress was fine and all this. And we're like, man, the feds have come in, bro. But come to find out he's over a commission that even governs them, he has to appoint people that govern them. So there's no way he's not informed about things. But Willie Hines from 2016, man. And this dude makes more money than the mayor and the governor. He's another 200 some $1,000 maker, right?
Motherfucker.
Right. And left. He was common council president. He was alderman. He took over HACM, and they kind of said no at first because there was some conflict of interest. They played it off and said he was a consultant, and then they brought him back. And as long as 2017, he was allegedly receiving paperwork from the Fed saying your shit's foul. And I'm paraphrasing, of course. He did nothing. It's 2024. There's people who they've had bed bug infestations, rats. When I worked with them, the problem was rats in Hillside. And I ain't talking about mice. I'm talking about rats. Where I'm driving down the street, like, oh, is that a dead cat? That's a motherfucking rat. A real rat. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about people who telling me that they doors won't lock. Stuff like this. And shout out to the maintenance men that I met when I worked there. They was cool. But I mean, I always say shit rolls down here. So if the leadership is irresponsible, of course, the business gonna be foul, right? So the question now, they're saying, should he step down? Why hasn't he been required to step down at this point? And so it's the city where we got these leaders who are just fumbling every which way. I see the alderman Stryker now is coming out saying to MPS, y'all shouldn't take all of that money from that referendum. Because what we didn't know is that, yeah, they have a choice. Like, the only thing people voted for was their right to do so. So if they exercise this option, then there's these millions of dollars in property taxes that's going to go up. Right? So this alderman, he gave a speech in front of City Hall. Stryker, I don't know what area he represents. Stryker, he came out and he said, y'all shouldn't do this because keep in mind, it's June. School starts in September, August in a lot of cases. Their budget is not approved. They've also lost the Head Start money. What the hell are our children going to do this fall? I don't hear anybody talking about a quick fix. You see what I'm saying, Kamar?
Mm-hmm.
So let me get it straight. In a cash-strapped system, the budget that you would have gotten to be cash-strapped has not been approved yet. So is school not going to start until November? What are we doing? All of this stuff goes in a circle. When you start saying, who should I get rid of? And if they friends, like he said about this, like the mayor said about this, the superintendent, I'm gonna have to call Keith. this
boy.
Right. Like, come on, man, you're complicit. If you're not complicit in getting some of the money or whatever, you're complicit in perpetuating it because you won't speak up and stand on it. But you're supposed to be the leader of the city. Oh, I'm CEO of the city. Okay, but then that means you need to run shit. I don't think Milwaukee needs, because if we can't trust you to be honest with us here on the streets of Milwaukee, behind closed doors, I know you ain't looking out for our best interests.
Mm-hmm.
And this ain't personal, brother.
Well, I think we know that already, though. Like, he ain't looking out for our best interests. Like, it's obvious.
I'm just saying how one thing leads to another, Kamar. That's
right.
all I know. Yeah, you're right. In that regard, like, no shit, Sherlock, he ain't looking. Right. I feel that. I feel that.
behind closed doors. He always behind closed doors.
Well,
That motherfucker.
everything is a closed door, right.
You motherfucker.
All right, we don't got no answer for that. We don't got no answer for that.
Hey
It's
Keith, what you gotta say?
all right. Let me call somebody and see. Let me call Keith and see. Keith, you good? You good? You good?
What you got for me?
Hey, let me call. Let's get Willie on the. They could call Willie too, but call him too. Let's get them all on the line. Get Willie. Get him
On the
on the
main
three-way.
line.
Right. What's up, Will? Hey,
Get
shit,
him on
chilling.
the main line.
Years, 8 months on MPS. Years and years. So bad with the housing authority. We're talking about the housing authority. If poor people don't deserve anything else, they deserve at least housing, right? Like, people don't make a lot of money but have some income. Okay, maybe this is the socialist in me coming out. I believe the government should provide for those people because some of those people are elderly, some of them are disabled, some may be mentally ill. So these are the people that you house. You make $200-some thousand a year, and the Fed is looking at your rental practices. We're talking about records of people paying their rent for years. I think they said they want to go back to 2016, and they can't find none of it. But you're still in office. How do you still have your job? The feds are literally running your operation for you right now. They've come and said this is so negligent, Kamar, that it's borderline fraud because of the usage of credit cards that were given out to certain people.
Mm.
See, now we talking about some money moving. It ain't stolen, it's just missing. In the words of Aisha Carr.
Here we go with this shit again.
Right. It ain't stolen, it's just missing. I'm just saying, this city right now, we have no accountability. Our leadership is just bonkers. I have trust the size of a flea's toenail in the government that we have right now, right? Like this, I wouldn't follow them across the street. And I think we need more of an outrage. Listen. This alderman is saying to the school board, like, look, if y'all don't, stop, nip this in the bud and don't take all that money, we won't. It's time for everybody on the school board to go. I say it's time for everybody to go anyways. Long before we even found out about the negligent paperwork, we on Outlaw Radio, shout out to Miss Beverly, wherever she is. I know our Facebook feed ain't working, so they're probably like, where the show? But we talked about Gerard Randall, who happened to just be connected to the Democratic Party. The Republican Party. He's one of the chairs of getting the RNC, the Republican National Convention here. But all you Negroes, y'all is Democrats. 10 years, he ended up with millions of dollars. And it like Sister Carr said, everything goes through the board, right? First of all, check this out. We know even prior to this administration, the head of the board was convicted in federal court of taking bribes to give favor to choice schools. We know that. The school board director was, and so this system been fraud for a very long time. People been literally getting checks on our backs. A question becomes what y'all want to do about it. Right? Because one man don't stop no show. So one podcast, us screaming out all these truths, not gonna stop this shit. We have to be a united front. It is time to clean house in Milwaukee. You got police officers on some bullshit. You got a county sheriff department where people are dying in the jail. You got a state correctional system, the major correctional penitentiary in this state. 8 people just charged for negligence and death and murder of prisoners. On what level is it functionable? And then you got a bunch of conservative white judges in Madison who decide everything, right? Governor Evers Governor Evers said, I want 2 audits. He He wants a financial audit and he wants an external audit on, and I'm trying to quote it like he said it, on the practices, the implementation of curriculum. This is what he wants 2 audits. That's all fine and dandy. But if you do these audits and be honest about it, somebody might have to wear some bracelets. Dion, what's popping, man?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. Can you hear him, Kamar?
Yep.
Okay, we good.
What's going on, boy?
We
Man,
shining.
just sitting back, listening, man, and you know everything that you're saying is true, but the things that's going on is basically, you know, this is what they're saying. Well, y'all got a black mayor, y'all got a black county executive, y'all got a black police chief. That's just for novelty, for show, man. That ain't, them guys ain't pulling no strings, man, and the only thing I see, and it goes back, I know you know, we always bump heads on this, but look who they servicing, man. That's just like I was watching them protest up there in Walpond. And I don't think, and this is just my opinion, it might not have no actual factual behind it, but I don't think that was brought to attention until white people start coming up dying in their prison. Because African Americans been dying in Walpond, Stanley, the House of Correction, Jackson, Red Granite, Fox Lake, KM, New Lisbon, RCI, all of them for years. But when those white guys, even though they're criminals, but they still white, so they life matter. You understand what I'm saying? So when those white inmates started dying up there, that's when it was brought to attention. And I just look at things like when it has something to do with us. First of all, when you talk about the public housing, when we know who was the head of HUD last year, I mean, not last year, but 4 years ago, it was Dr. Ben Carson. He was part of the Trump administration. So you already know HUD was going downhill. They was trying to do everything to defund HUD as it is. I remember when I stayed in the housing authority, and the reason they stopped people from smoking up in there, it wasn't so much about health. They looked at it like if you can afford a pack of cigarettes, then you can afford to live it. You can't, I mean, if you can afford to buy a pack of cigarettes and pay what they call market rate rent, they don't want to give African Americans nothing. And I feel like you on that because I was talking to Orlando Owens the other day. Shout out to Orlando if you listening. And I was telling him, you know, we was talking about, because I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm a black man. I'm pro-black. You understand what I'm saying? And then so I was just saying that, and I was talking about social safety nets. I do believe, like you said, a social safety net. That is some people out here because a social safety net helped me in a sense because I was I was locked up. I went to MSDF. When I got out in 07, I had me an apartment, but I got on the list for low income. And then when I got back out in 09, because I fucked up on my extended supervision, I went back to MSDF for 6 months. I was accepted to Westline. That's why I said when people be talking about felon this, felon that, well, I have done a lot of things that they say felons can't do. You understand what I'm saying? The only thing I ain't did yet was got my pardon, and hopefully I get it this year.
I got somebody for you, Dion. I just met a brother today. My bad, Dion. I just met a brother today that can help you with that pardon, brother.
Okay, good looking. You know what I'm saying? So I have done a lot of things that they say felons can't, and subsidized housing helped me. Now look at me. I went from living there, moved to Berryland, got me jobs, put myself to school, got my CDLs. Now I own a home, and I'm a taxpayer. You understand what I'm saying? So I do feel like in certain situations, people need those social safety nets to help them. Social Security, the SNAP benefits program, WIC, and all that. But you got to understand a lot of white conservatives, and the killing part about it is, though, Kev, they don't care because, like we always say, we'll fight, we'll go back and forth with this, not me and you, but us against them. Well, there's more white people that's on welfare and getting these benefits than us. They don't give a shit about them because they believe in collateral damage. They have sacrificed their own just so we won't have it. And matter of fact, the ones that's on it, they don't give a fuck about it neither because they looking at it like we'll sacrifice ourselves, and so the niggas won't have nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So when you look at, you know, like Keith Posley and all that, and I don't blame that man. He inherited a fucked up situation because Dr. Dorian Driver, he resigned for the same bullshit. It's just didn't blow up like it did with him. But you understand what I'm saying? These people are servicing African Americans, and they're giving us the minimum requirements that it is, and Willie Hines and all them niggas ain't nothing but, like you said, coon or something you had on there. And I ain't even call him a coon because I don't know him personally, but they getting that fat meat. So money, I mean, to be honest with you, if you had to put money over your race, proper preparation prevents poor performance. You got to watch out for your family. They're creating generational wealth for their family, so their families don't have to live in subsidized housing and get treated like that. So they don't care about the people that's living in subsidized housing, the people that's going to school. I mean, the people that's going to MPS. Because as long as they keep on getting that 200-some thousand, that 160-some thousand, whatever they get in a year, they putting that money back. They can pay for their kids to go to private school, charter schools, or whatever other type of schools to get a private funded education where they don't have to go through the public system. So basically, they looking at it like, shit, them niggas, I love my people, but hey, I got, it is what it is. And I can't say that I'm mad at them. Because last week, when you was talking about Keith Posley, you said if you came up in there making $360,000, you would tell them niggas, hey, goddammit, don't fit that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, can we get mad at them though? You know what I'm saying? We can't get mad at them.
Hold on. Because you losing me. You're losing me because you're saying we shouldn't be mad at them. We shouldn't demand that they step down. You said I don't blame Keith Posley because when he came there, it was bad. That's like saying I don't blame the plantation owner because it was already slaves there when he bought the place. Like, I don't understand how you giving these people all this leeway. This is the problem right now. Most people maybe feel the same way you do. I don't blame him because it was bad. No. When do you stop the bleeding? When do you actually say, nah, man, enough is enough?
Right. If it's bad, when you get in there, it's your job to fix it.
It's right.
You accept the job, that means you accepting that challenge.
How old, let me see, you say you 48, I'm 46. So you 2 years. Nigga, we'll be talking about this shit 10 years from now, and ain't nothing gonna change.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
That's why I don't believe in. That's why I don't believe in the system.
If you demand accountability, that things won't change. It's happened in other places. It's happened before. I mean, everybody got something. It happens in corporate America every day. Somebody has a company. He or she is the CEO. The company is failing. They get rid of that individual and their whole regime. A new regime comes in and reinvigorates the whole deal. But the people have to be holding them accountable. People like you, people like myself, who say, hell no, I pay taxes. You don't get to fuck off on my tax money. I mean, on my dime. You don't get no pass for that shit. You don't get no pass for now little kids, our children in our community. Now, keep in mind, this ain't happening in the suburbs. Now, we just said, what's going to happen in August when it's time for kids to go back to school? The budget, which you already said was short, will not be approved no time soon. You don't have a superintendent. And your paperwork's still not turned in.
They about to have some guy. He's a regional attendant. He
got to get the paperwork in. First of all, he has to get the paperwork submitted, and then it has to be approved by the school board. This ain't gonna happen in no 2 weeks. So what we gonna do? Right. So how can we not look at Keith Posley and say just some bullshit? Because it ain't just the main budget. You've lost the federal money for the Head Start. Now we talking about the babies. Now you hurting the babies. Come on, man. Come on, Dion. You can't give them a pass.
We need some whistleblowers up in there then,
Shit, you think
I'm just saying pretty soon it's going to be like beating a dead horse, though. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody that's getting up there, they're getting up in there for self-gratification, which they trying to fatten their pockets, get this up under their resume, and then move along. You feel what I'm saying?
And it's time to get rid of that.
What was the one lady that came? Okay, we had the black dude that wore the bow ties. What was his name down there with the health department? And then they got rid of him. And then Janet, whatever that lady name is, she came along, and it just be BS, man. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, man. I don't get me wrong. I'll be on that, but like when it come to that, I just be like, it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, we just have to come together as a collective and just, but that's the whole thing, though. You know what I'm saying? We want.
Dion, you just talked about your opportunity to be housed in public housing, right? Which was the springboard for you to better yourself so that you was able to bubble up. Now imagine if, since what Hines has done, And really, you got a waiting list for this for housing right now that's landlocked for years and years to come. I know this because I've assisted people on when they finally opened up the waiting list. First, it was closed for a very long time. When they finally opened it up, and people still are waiting years, when you have a bunch of vacant units that's just not fixed. So if you was denied that opportunity because of a flaw on his part, you wouldn't feel some kind of way on against him.
I don't know if I probably would have looked that deep into it. I would have said like, damn, they denied me because I'm a felon.
No, they put you on the waiting list, and they put you on the waiting list, and you was never called for years and years and years. And you can point directly at that office and say, something wrong with that shit. This ain't supposed to be like this. He's the director of that office. I would assume you was able to put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, I probably would have looked at it like that. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I probably would have looked at it like that. But I mean,
ain't no passes for these dudes. Ain't no passes for them.
Like I said, man, and to keep it real, I understand that we be looking at locally, but sometimes we may have to look in other districts, like you be saying, and look what they going through, and maybe look at a resolution on how they fixed it. Like the time I was telling you, look at Jackson, Mississippi. They working with bare minimum the money we working with, and they trying to turn their educational system around.
Jackson, Mississippi is a shithole. The whole state of Mississippi is a shithole, especially when it comes to education. They're the poorest state in the nation, and they got the worst education system in the country. Mississippi, period.
That's true, but they turning it around than what it was, though.
Do they got water now? I mean, you talking about they turning it around?
Well. Flint ain't got no goddamn water.
Flint's horrible. Flint's one of the worst cities in the country to live in.
Like Milwaukee.
Milwaukee is higher rated than them.
And what do they all got in common? African American.
It's black people. Name a place where black people live, and it's gonna be the worst place. I can't.
It seems like that. It seems so, don't it? Gary, I don't know. Chicago, it's big and it's violent, but I don't know. Memphis, Mobile, Montgomery, Jacksonville, Florida. Look what happened going on down there in Shreveport, Louisiana. New Orleans.
Excuse me.
Shit, 20 years ago, damn near, the levees opened up and drowned. It ain't funny though, but drowned every motherfucker up in that motherfucker. So, man, when it come to us, bro, it seems like them people, man. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I know you always, you sit back and be like, we need to stop using that always me, but our skin color plays a part in it, man. You know what I'm saying? And what they did, what I'm saying? It does.
Here we go.
You know what I'm saying? It really does. I mean, I feel you though, but racism plays a part in your everyday life, man, whether you want to realize it or not.
Hey, I think we gotta be careful.
Turn that device down, Courtney.
Hey, yo.
As long as you got people who don't look like us, man, they don't have our best interest in mind. I wish I was on YouTube so I could see old Snouter. As long as we got people that don't look like us, man, they don't have our best interest in mind. You know what I'm saying? And pretty soon the Mexicans gonna outweigh everybody. The Latinos,
Courtney, you gotta turn your
call
device down. We getting interference from you.
Who you talking about? Me?
Courtney.
Yeah.
I think we gotta be careful when we use that race card like that. You know what I mean? Saying like our skin color is the reason we can't do certain stuff. Cause see, we can let that get stuck in our head and we won't even try to do something because we feel like our skin color gonna keep us from doing something. I think we got to be careful with that. I know there are situations. I do know, hey, hold on once. I do know there are situations, where the skin color do play into effect these days, you know what I mean? And there has been times in the past, where it's like, okay, I see how it can be an effect and why people would say that even, you know what I mean? But I just think we got to get it out of our head as far as feeling like we can't do something because of our skin color.
But when you have people that's in charge of resources to help us out and they don't look like us, they're not in a hurry to help us.
You're right.
No, right. Well, who's saying that's like, why are we talking about that? That's already that's a given. That's a no-brainer, as they call it. Like, I don't think any black person would deny that.
Because we need their assistance, their funding. We ain't doing this funding out our pockets. Right now, if Madison or the United States government stop giving funding to our communities, we have starved to death.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that because we survived.
Who gonna fund our schools?
Listen. They've tried that before, Dion. They tried everything in the book to eradicate us. We've always survived. You'll figure out a way. See, we have a thing called survival instincts. If they was to cut the water off, you think people would just fall off and die? Some people would lose progress, but a lot of people would just say, okay, it's time to adjust.
Black folks got a knack for persevering.
Come on, man. Listen. Yeah, shit's not fair, but it's not fair anywhere on this planet, right? And so I think as a person of color, what you need to do is start building from within and then build outward. Like you want to look at a white man and say, why I can't do what he do? Why he get treated better than me? Like we get focused on that instead of saying, what do I need to do to make me a better me?
Right.
In spite of that, what do I need to do to make myself impervious to that? Right?
Yeah, I mean, I dig what you're saying. I dig.
That's our go-to.
No white man,
that's our go-to. Well, that's just like we talking about Bun B and his dude having his wife and all this, and somebody's gonna make up an excuse because his dad testified in the courtroom and said he had severe mental health issues and he didn't come from a bad home. Like he had everything, but I tried to be a friend instead of a father. Oh, the fuck well.
Right.
If he's that, lock his little mental ass up. Then I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah.
That you're his friend.
Let me comment on that though. So, like with Bill's a law-abiding citizen, man. So I respect what he did but if he was out here, but you know what? Though, I'm gonna keep it real with you, right? If he was out here doing, flipping them birds or whatever, shit, he know what come along with it. But now I'm gonna keep it real with you. I know niggas that when I was locked up in a joint, they robbed motherfuckers for drugs, and the police treated it like they robbed them for, just robbery. It was like, I don't know if you know little Tone out of Westline. He had did some old crazy shit, and he was breaking that shit down because, a motherfucker, you wouldn't think that if you go rob somebody for drugs, that you would be convicted for that shit because they doing some illegal. But how broke that shit down to us and showed us that statues of that shit. And then they'll be like, so if the drugs is worth $30,000 or something like that, then that's how they hit you with the market rate value of the shit. I was like, that shit crazy.
Whoa. Hold on. Help me out with this. Give me clarity on this. Somebody, now, they didn't shoot this person. They didn't assault this person. They robbed them of, let's just say I took a bird from somebody. And I go home and he calls the police and say, this dude just robbed me for a bird. You telling me they're going to arrest that dude for robbing?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Is that how it
and they
goes?
want to know how much. Hell yeah. And they want to know how much it's worth too.
So what is the charge for that? What is the charge?
Robbery.
Robbery. Robbery.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
same
robbery.
thing.
They ain't going to charge you for the drugs because you ain't get caught with them. They got took from you. Yeah, there was plenty niggas up in the joint for that shit, man. Robbing niggas.
Huh. That's very
on the real.
Hey, that's just like two dudes go rob a motherfucker, and one of those two dudes gets shot in the course of the robbery. The person who he went with getting charged for that murder.
Well, yeah, I understand that because there's the shooting, but I'm saying if I rob a drug dealer, don't shoot him or nothing. I didn't know he could call the police and say, this dude just stole all my dope.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, like you could be in the dead, like okay, well, what was y'all going to rob a nigga for? Some dope.
Yeah,
it's just from the other perspective.
I did not know that. Y'all just put me up on something. I didn't know that.
So have you heard about the representative or he's the senator in Florida about the man, I can't get rid of this cough shit, Kev. He made that comment about Jim Crow. Don't do that, boy. Don't do that, bro. On the real, said, damn.
You better go.
I told you what to come get, nigga.
Man, you better go.
You ain't even made it up there.
That shit sounded tuberculoic.
Man, did you hear about it though when he was like talking about the black family?
I did.
Yeah, you gonna touch bases on that?
Well, yeah, we can talk about it right now because I mean he's getting crucified for what he said. But keep in mind, this dude is also a bed wench himself. He's he got him a little frosty one. So but what he said, and I got this on my talking points with a question mark. What he said was, I wish we could bring back the days of Jim Crow because black people were more together then. And so coincidentally, you just brought up this thing about you know, you just brought up this thing about all the stuff that if they cut us off, if they didn't give us anything, if they didn't do it, that's what they were doing then. You wasn't getting shit, right? Didn't matter. When you walk in, they say no colors allowed type shit. And so he said, but the family was together then. And the community was more together then. I said, it made me think, was it? Well, if they was together, they sure wasn't doing that. Like they wasn't getting nothing done because shit was bad. But is that what black people need? Do we need to be reset? Do we need to unplug the modem on them? Does America need to pull a plug and say, all right, well, shit, y'all want to be on your own so bad? Fuck it. Y'all do y'all. No police, no firefighters, no garbage trucks. We ain't coming in y'all community doing nothing. And y'all can keep all y'all tax money. But y'all community, y'all run it. I think
first we need to find another form of currency.
Hold on.
Yeah, I don't think. Go ahead, Bull.
No, I was just gonna say, I think first we would need to find another form of currency.
Okay, we need to do that. And okay.
I don't think that we have the. We personally don't have the infrastructure to remove garbage, sanitation, to filter our water. Maybe the police aren't able to. See, we got to look at a lot of that stuff. You know, like if your house break on fire, nigga, I ain't got no motherfucking fire truck to come get you. Guess what we got to call?
No, because black people don't want the white man in their business. They saying, nah, let us do us.
Yeah, see that right there. Even doing Jim Crow, you know, them motherfuckers will let your house burn down, but they'll come put the fire out. You know, I mean, shit, if your motherfucking house caught fire next to yours, you want that fire put out because you don't want it spread into your house. See, that's the whole thing where I think sometimes, and don't get me wrong, I don't want to offend nobody, but sometimes I sit down and I meditate, and I think about slavery, and I try to place myself in that time. You understand what I'm saying? See, we were dependent upon the white man for everything. He clothed us, he housed us, he fed us, he treated us, whatever. He healthy, you know.
Why are we still talking about that in 2024?
Hold on, let me finish.
Why are we
Please
still
allow me to finish.
talking about that? Go ahead, man.
Because it's still relevant. It's still relevant to this day. I don't know why you don't see that, man. You know what I'm saying? We have to come to the white man for a job. When you sick, you ain't going to no black doctor, my nigga. There's no black hospitals out here. You gotta go to the white man. I hope the God that he take care of you. The white man gives you. The white man provides you with medicine. The white man provides you with a job.
Hey, Dion, hold on, Dion. Look, we got black folks out here doing a lot of that same shit. The shit is growing right now. We do got medicine out here. You know what I mean? We do got medicine out here. This is what I'm doing up here at the House of Vitality. We got stuff that can help you heal. You know what I mean?
Where's the black hospital at?
And it's coming. It's coming.
Black doctors and black surgeons.
See, hey, look, this is the thing too.
We don't even have a black financial.
Dion, let somebody else talk for a minute.
Dion,
let somebody else talk for a minute. You've been talking for 5 minutes. Now let us come back and talk too.
Go ahead.
Hey, look, I feel like all that is in the works. You know what I'm saying? Like we could look at how business is right now, like black business, so many different black businesses that's growing, right? That's evolved. It's a whole lot of stuff. Remember, Kev, I used to say it. I see a lot of change in the works right now. You know what I mean? I see people. I know a man that's building a black airport. You know what I mean? It's happening. It's in the works. A lot of black people are just looking at what we see today. We don't know about who's working on nothing. We don't know about what's building over in California. You know what I'm saying? Like I see a lot of different black businesses. I feel like 20 years from now, we're going to be employing a lot of our own. A lot of shit going to change. Because what I know, like when I really started getting off into the community, since then, I see a whole lot of change. You know what I'm saying? And like, I'm just tired of black people saying, we ain't got the police station, we ain't got this, we ain't got that. Well, how about start working on it?
I just don't understand. Why we still talking about slavery? Listen, we know it's horrible. It existed. It was a terrible time. A lot of people were killed. It's very unfair to black people that they were enslaved. And to the brother who's super invested, we still enslaved mentally. Well, there is black doctors. There's not no black hospital, but do I feel, because first of all, there's more Indian doctors damn near than white doctors right now, and Asians. So I don't know that maybe the white people own it, but the motherfuckers who working in there ain't all them. No, they don't dominate anything like they used to, except for government. And so we got the powers in our hands to change all that now. Back in those days, you talking about a motherfucker couldn't vote. Now a motherfucker won't vote. Back then it was illegal. Now we say to ourselves, man, fuck that shit. I ain't voting. That's us. That's our mentality today. And while we talking about slavery, they talking about fucking developing lithium resources so they can invest in the next fuel source. Elon Musk saying, I would advise y'all right now to invest in lithium. Right? This is coming down the pipe. When all this shit's gonna be electric, they're gonna be lithium polymer batteries. This is what I use to run my RCs. That's what we've been using for years. It's ridiculously powerful. So we still talking about what happened in 1832. And 32 minutes ago, the fucking mayor was on TV talking about he didn't know who Keith was. What you mean you don't know who Keith is? But we still talking about slavery. I get tired of talking about slavery. Well, well, you know the way they did us, and some of this shit is not that serious no more when it comes. I'm just gonna be honest. We give away more power than they take, because we still act like we them Negroes in 1945 and 1955 when we're not. We say we're not your grandfather's Negroes. We're not. Motherfucker call us colored, nigger, whatever. All hell breaks loose. Back then, you get kicked in your ass and pushed off the sidewalk and kept it pushing. Excuse me, sir. Shit has changed. Now, there's still systematic racism. Obviously, yes. Right. I see Asian people in Asia prejudice against other Asian people. You feel me? I see Middle Easterners in the Middle East being racist against their own Middle. We know it ain't no such thing as the Middle East, so don't get on me about that, y'all. But y'all get what I'm saying. Shout out to Crystal Ship. I'm glad you was able to find us, my sister. She said, oftentimes they have to keep the plans private because the masses don't want it to happen. The people I know personally are truly doing the work up front behind the scenes. 15 years ago, HOV, Alki, Honeybee, and other holistic brands didn't exist, and now they are thriving. Kamar just talked about what he's doing in providing at least alternatives, I guess. So if you really say, fuck this white man, then how do you wean yourself off their medications?
Right.
If you ain't thinking ahead, if you ain't thinking like, fuck that, I'm not just going to depend on you.
That's why I say, like, this stuff in the works right now. While we talking about, we don't got this, we don't got that. How about support what's going on? And then that it's going to help it grow.
Because motherfuckers say, I ain't into that shit. I'd rather go to Mount Sinai. I'd rather go to Sinai Samaritan.
And see, look, dig this, right? I don't discredit hospitals and doctors and shit. I feel like we need all that too.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, we need doctors to diagnose shit. Like, you get fucked up, you got to go to the hospital to get fixed sometimes. Yeah. Break your leg, you got to go to the hospital. I mean, you know what I mean? What's wrong with that? Eventually, I feel like we going to have our own hospitals too.
I mean, and I want to say to Dion, I get what you're saying, because you keep, you approach me like I don't understand the ramifications of slavery, or I don't understand the systematic nature of the would-be oppressors. Like you said, like I live in La La Land. Like I don't understand.
I ain't say you live in La La Land.
No, I'm saying this is sometimes like you act like I'm saying, well, no, that racism doesn't exist. We're all gonna get along. I don't believe that at all. I done had fisticuffs with racist white dudes. Plenty of them, right? So I already know the attitude. I've been in North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Iowa, Nebraska, northern Wisconsin. It's thick up there with them white people. And even you go down south, them motherfuckers ain't friendly. Them rednecks down there, hell, where was they marching to Washington? Motherfucker came out in Pennsylvania, blasting, pow, pow. I've been trying to get C-Note on the show for 5 years. He'll inbox me like, I'm ready to talk, but I don't want to do it on virtual. Well, when you figure it out, brother. You come on. Crystal Ship says switch the mindset and focus on the good that is happening. We did a show called Pleasure and Pain. Which one do you enjoy the most? I don't know. Or do you want to just wallow in the negative all the time? I mean, so many conversations with black people end up in, we start talking about slavery. I'm like, damn, it's 2024. Why are we still talking about 1834?
Because your past reflect the past that happened reflect the future. Because if we don't talk about it and we don't acknowledge what we're in the situation that we're in because of that shit.
No, we're not.
Hold on, let me finish. We're looked at as stereotypes because they came up with all these different, we're lazy, we like to eat watermelon, we like to eat chicken, we're criminals, we're vandals. You understand what I'm saying? When they ended slavery, they came up with vagrant laws. The slavery is the reason that we're looked at. I'm talking about, you got people that don't even know nothing about us. They never came in contact with African Americans, people in Japan, India, wherever you want to name. And they have a negative connotation about us because of what the Europeans, the propaganda that the Europeans put out about us.
So is that because of slavery, or is that because of a sexy red video? Or a fucking video that they seen on the internet of us being vandals, being lazy, being thugs. I'm not saying that's the reality, but we sure in the fuck perpetuate these images and we make money off of it. And we be down with the shit until it backfire. This is the truth about us in this country.
And then we support it.
Right. Motherfucker, viral as a bitch. What's the name of the song? I Eat Booty. And part 1 and 2, the remix with all the famous rappers on it.
I heard a Sexy Red song that said, we go together.
Music is
Tell that hoe we
That's
go
what
together.
they see of us, Dion. It ain't got nothing to do with slavery. It's got them looking on the internet saying, oh, this is how they is.
Right.
But still, slavery played a part in everything that transpired from slavery to Jim Crow to the civil rights. Now, that's how I look at it. That's my opinion.
And you got the right to it. And you got the right.
I'm talking about, and believe it or not, it was, I can't think of the German scientist's name, but when Theodore Roosevelt, not Franklin, when Theodore Roosevelt was in office, he wanted to start universal health care. But the German scientist, he said that black people live in the slums and the ghettos, and within 100 years, they'll be dead. So if you provide universal health care to everyone, that means we will be afforded to it and take advantage of it. That's one reason why we don't have universal health care.
We wasn't even up north yet with him, though. When Teddy Roosevelt was the president, the Great Migration hadn't even started. We wasn't living in the ghetto. We was living in the South.
It was still ghettos, and it was still black people in the north.
It was the plantation. It was the. I'm not saying the conditions wasn't good, but we wasn't living in the cities yet. We hadn't even come north yet.
It was black people in the north.
Very few.
Yeah. It was
when Teddy Roosevelt was president, maybe in New York, right? But not nowhere in the Midwest. Sprinkled on the West.
They probably wasn't in masses like they are, but it was black people in Detroit, Chicago.
Not even Cleveland. Detroit. Teddy Roosevelt, Ford built Detroit. When Henry Ford started Ford Motors, that's when people flocked there. That's not under Teddy Roosevelt. That's not even under Theodore Roosevelt. That was in the 30s.
Teddy and Theodore is the same person.
No, Teddy.
You had two Roosevelts.
There's two Roosevelts. Teddy,
right. Franklin,
I'm sorry, Franklin is in the 30s. But under Teddy, there wasn't no black people.
Teddy.
No black people in the North at the time. No black people. They wasn't living in ghettos.
It probably wasn't black people in abundance, but it was black people.
They were dominating no slums in no city under Teddy Roosevelt. Look it up. Black people.
When I find the information, I'm gonna send it to you.
There you go.
You be like, oh, okay.
There we go.
Yeah, that's what I have to do.
Don't send me nothing talking about it was 50 people in Boston.
Yeah,
because that ain't enough to live in. That's an Irish slum they was living in. That ain't no black slum.
That's the whole reason. Like, okay, like say for instance, right? You could tell me 50 reasons why, and I can give you 50 reasons why too. You understand what I'm saying? That why slavery played a part in everything that's transpiring with us today.
Okay, even if I say you're right, then what? Even if I say you're right, then what? Even if I say you're right, then what? Now, what about now? Okay, it plays a part. Now what? What we gonna do now?
because now things that got out of hand that we don't have control of it no more. You
When
understand
do
what
we
I'm saying?
have
So we have
control?
to.
When do we have
We
control?
never had control
Okay, so what you talking about?
until like you said. Hold on, we did have control when we had the Rosewood, the Black Wall Street, when we had our small communities that we was building upon. But it still reflects on what's going on now. And going back to saying, like I'm saying about Keith Posley with Hines
What
and
Keith Posley
Chevy and
got to
all
do with
them.
slavery?
Well, hold on. I'm saying going back to them, those people were overseers and put over here that was put in charge of something. Chevy, all those people, they'll give us something to be the see. Basically, what's gonna happen is those guys gonna be gone. And they're gonna say, well, you had a black superintendent, you had a black this, you had a black that. Y'all still didn't make a difference with each other. Because remember, we just had the first black president. You
Well,
understand
the
what I'm
prior
saying?
two superintendents was black, and so was Howard Fuller. So we've had black superintendents prior to Keith Posley.
Yeah, and the MPS still effed up.
So they didn't
That's just
say
like
we ain't gonna give y'all another. You already had a black one. We're not gonna do another one. Hey, Mr. Posley, you want the job?
I don't even think the MPS. I think the feds gonna come take on the MPS. Madison gonna come run MPS because that's what they setting it up for. Yeah, that's what they setting it up.
Let me catch my chat room. Crystal's in the
Go
chat
ahead.
room.
I'm about to hang up, man. I'm riding down this road, but you know, there's always love politicking with you, man. I'm about to sit back and listen.
Oh yeah, my brother. Right.
Love, Bull, Kamar, Real, wherever you at, Courtney, Miss Jenkins, Sean, Paris, all y'all, man.
Yeah,
I'm
share
gone,
the show, Dion, because we ain't our YouTube. My normal.
I see you on Facebook though. I don't know if you live, but I can see the icon up there.
What I'm doing is I'm using the Outlaw Radio page instead of the Kevin Barnes page, so it's live on the Outlaw Radio page, which everybody's not on, so we need to share it.
Yes, sir. You know I share that motherfucker 100 times.
Appreciate you. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Crystal says it's not what you're called; it's more about what you answer to. If you know you are destined for greater, if you know you do your best to uplift, why care what others think? She says, shout out to Wellness Our Way new logo. Okay. Y'all hit up Crystal if y'all got printing needs. To that effect, I don't want people because I'm not really one to dismiss slavery, but I'm so tired of hearing about it. Like I'm really like, okay, I don't, because there's been so many different cycles in which we collectively, because I'm still part of this community, have had an opportunity to turn things around and we fumbled the ball. It's just the reality of it. I know it's hard for us to admit because we just touched on the fact that people will tell me why they don't vote. And that same person who refuses to vote will turn and complain to me about somebody who's in office. And they'll say, well, just my little vote wasn't going to matter. But if you was in the game, you don't know who going to get the awareness campaign started off. Like, you think Miss Beverly cared who was really riding with her this whole time years ago when she was calling out Keith Posley in the school board? She didn't care that people wasn't riding with her. She said, I'm going to make enough noise. What do you have? Eventually, things are put on blast. Shout out to Dion. I get that. And there's a lot of black people who say, Kev, you don't understand the effects that slavery have had on us. You know what? I do understand the effects slavery had on those people. But us today in 2024, I think you just got to keep it pushing, partner. And where you go as far as you can, and where that beast rears his head, you call it out. Hey, man, this is racist. Okay, Kamar, you're right. You're right on this one. And I ain't going to dwell on this. I'm going to keep it moving.
Right.
Because I'm going to change this motherfucking system. So that's my soapbox, man. Courtney, I know you was trying to get in. We was kind of conversing. What was you trying to add to?
I was just listening.
Okay. So the next thing that I had on actually on my talking points, and it's good to go with this conversation because I've been talking to my partner Vince Tony. Shout out to Vince Tony. Vince was telling me about this book called How to Make a Negro Christian. Okay, and I gotta pull up the author. I didn't write the author's name because it's like with 2K put 2K. If somebody could look that up, I don't know who's free. If you got a free hand, How to Make a Negro Christian. We have talked about black people, and I want to talk about American black people because, like I keep saying, I feel like foundational Black Americans are a race unto themselves created by the United States of America. Now, if we talk about slavery and its effects in the Middle Passage that it had, it broke us up culturally, but it also produced a different kind of Black person, a Black person that's bred more European than a native African from birth, right? Because just like we're inclined and real deep in the culture, this is white culture, European culture as well. Shit, we eat European foods. We grow up on European food and vice versa. So you got a different kind of Black person. So first of all, let me say, I do understand that there was a such thing as the slave Bible. And there's only a couple copies left in existence. And there's an admitted effort to basically take some of the things out of the Bible that they felt like would turn slaves against their masters, because Haiti Haiti to this day had the biggest slave revolt, where they actually ran the white people out the country and freed themselves, right? And so this made slave masters all over the world nervous. They said, well, what can we do? Okay, we're going to give them this Christianity. Now, this is, and some of this is what the book says, and some of this is what history has taught me. Okay, let's take our slaves and we're going to give them this book. We're going to give them religion. And we're going to take this Bible, we're going to remove certain passages that we feel might make them think they should rebel, and we'll leave all the ones that said be good to your master and do what you need to do for your master. We're going to leave those in. They did that. They gave that was the Bible that they gave to their slaves. But see, one of the things was, this is what you don't teach your slaves how to read. You teach them how to read this. I'm going to read this to him, and this is the only thing he's going to be able to read, because if I catch his ass with a book trying to do some research, I'm tearing off, right? But he can read. You are allowed to read this Bible. Josiah, whatever the fuck his slave name was. And so there was a market effort to utilize religion, which is just propaganda. Anytime it's war, you're conquering somebody, you ain't going to just conquer them physically. It's going to be mental. It's going to be all kinds of different aspects to you conquering them. Let me shout out John Fletcher in the chat room. Shout out to you, Fletch. Y'all see the EPUSDS.com up on the screen. Hit him up. Hit up EPUSDS. So, and Vince was saying, like, I will never ever listen to religion again. I think that's all phony. I think that's all fake and all this kind of stuff. And so I still was left with the thing that I don't even begin to pretend to understand religion and its complexities, or spirituality and its complexities. I'm good with saying God, because I have admitted and I know that there's something greater than myself in this galaxy or what have you. I've never been given a specific name of what that entity was except for God, right? So what have you, with whatever they intentions they had for the Christians, for the slaves when they introduced Christianity, it doesn't really apply to me because I wasn't raised on that type of Christianity. I wasn't told to turn the other cheek. Maybe it was said, but that's not what the interpretation I got at home. I was never told to be good and honor your master. I was never. So when I say God, I'm not subscribing to some slave Bible. I'm not a slave. I'm not bowing down to massa. I believe this is true more because my grandmother said it than I do about a white man saying it. I tend to trust my grandmother over everybody. So I wanted to talk about that. Kamar, have you ever read this book? You ever heard of this book? Or
I heard of it. I hadn't read it.
Okay.
But
okay.
I mean, you know me, I done been through the process. I
Okay.
done been through the stage where I grew up in church. So I've been through the stage where I done studied history. When I was young, on my mother's side, they was Baptist. On my father's side, they was Catholic. So I went to both churches, right?
Okay.
Catholic church scared me, first of all. I ain't like going to that one. You know what I'm saying? I ain't like that shit. They look weird to me. But anyway, what I'm getting at is, when I was young, my thoughts was, which one is the real one? Which one is the right way? You know what I'm saying? They pray to Mary, and over here they pray to Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So through my whole life, that's what I was wondering trying to figure it out. I even signed myself up to go to Sunday school and everything. They got mad at me because I had too many questions. Or they didn't like it because I had too many questions. And I had another partner across the street from me. They was Pentecostal. I went to church with them. Now they was jumping up, running around. It's some more shit I ain't never seen. Now I'm really curious now. Like, oh my God, I don't know. You know what I mean? So then I knew a guy that was Muslim. I had another friend when I was young. I'm talking about growing up in Westlawn. I went to the mosque with him a few times. So that was different. So now I'm wondering, like, okay, now which one of these religions is the real one? Like, which one is the right one? Because everybody's so confident in what they believe. When I was in prison, I even went with the Native Americans. You know what I'm saying? I did the smoke lodge a couple times,
Mm.
and at the same time, I was studying our culture. And what I noticed is a lot of the native. First off, I noticed the Native Americans, they spiritual systems was very similar to ours. Different language, but it was very similar. You know what I mean? I was able to see the thing. I mean, in the same type of similarities where you would see around Africa, where they had it would be different spiritual systems, but it was the same thing. It was different languages. Whenever our people would move, they would change the language. You know what I'm saying? And so since the language was changing, you know what I mean, you would think the spiritual system changed, but it didn't. It's really all the same. Um, so now I'm really like, after I did the smoke lodge, I'm like, oh wow, this is wild. So I'm like, well, maybe uh the one that I can research the furthest back would be the right one. You know what I mean? And this is where I came to this conclusion while I was in prison. My cousin Blade, who, he sent me a list of some books to go find. And so I'm studying. Now I'm wondering, like, I'm finding out which religions came before which. And I'm like, wait a minute, there's an inception date here. You know what I'm saying? So I found out that it was our spiritual systems. We was the first people here. Our spiritual systems was the first ones. And so that's what I decided to dive into. I was already studying our culture, you know. So then now I'm grown, right? And I'm out of jail. First off, I went through a stage where it was like I had to combat religion. You know what I mean? Like every time we talk about religion, I got to combat it. You know what I'm saying? I got to debate. But I'm still studying our spiritual systems, right? But as I'm studying them, I'm steady practicing them. Now I'm understanding how really it's all one big demonstration. I'm reading verses in the Bible and I'm making correlations to what I understand as far as in the spiritual system. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of shit in the Bible that don't make no sense to me because I feel like that's the shit that they threw in there. We already know that the Bible was pretty much plagiarized. You know what I'm saying? Over and over and over again. It was rewritten over and over again. Our people wrote the first Bible. Our ancestors wrote the first Bible, and they wrote it so you can understand your journey, so you can understand your spiritual self a bit better. But it just got rewritten and changed so much to where it's now it is where it is. So once I found out that it's all one big thing, I mean, it ain't religion ain't even no issue to me. I can talk to a Christian, you know what I mean, so they can understand me. I can talk to one of my Muslim brothers so they can understand me, and I can talk to my spiritual people so they can understand.
I don't understand why we gotta okay, so I don't understand why we have to attack one another's beliefs, right? And I think your relationship with whoever you pray to at night is entirely personal, and I would respect you whatever you called it. So I think it's asinine and it's counterproductive for us to look at each other and say, "Oh well, you're flawed because you believe a slave religion." Right? I don't know. I think everybody got to get some from somewhere. Like, or else what would you know if there was just nothing, no information out there to go and get? I guess my whole point of this conversation was looking at because I was just blowing it off when Vince was talking about it, and he was really passionate about it. He's like, Kev, I'm gonna bring you the book and I want you to know, and this is a white man, and he was heavy into the white man, the diabolical. I hope I ain't telling Vince business, right?
Some people want you to know that shit be fake. I mean, it ain't that somebody want to knock down what you believe in. It's just that motherfucker wants you to know the truth. Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? It's cool if you want to keep believing it, but at least let me tell you that this shit ain't none of this shit real. They
Right.
made this shit up.
My
They
life experiences.
shit on some bullshit. But I mean, if you believe it and that's what you want to stick to, then cool. But I just want you to know the truth.
Well,
Ain't nobody
My life
so
experiences
God
made
ain't
me
real. God ain't real because slave masters manipulated the Bible.
No, it ain't God ain't real. It's the bullshit maybe that they put in the Bible, or Jesus, all that other shit. Now there's a creator or something somebody made all of this, but we want you to know that Christianity part that you believing in, folks, all that shit was just some made up shit, just to let you know. But if you
I,
want to go
I,
ahead and believe it, and you like the story, well
at
then
this
fine.
point,
But
I
we
don't see how you
know,
get. It's very hard for me to process. Somebody say Christianity is not real because there's some theories and because there's some logic. Like Kamar say, some stuff in that Bible don't make sense to him, right? Just because if you don't understand something or if it don't make sense to you, you say, "Oh, this fake. This is fake."
Hey,
I
I remember
just
when I was in prison. I went to a one of the Bible studies, right? And they was talking about the part about how Jesus or God say talk about how you should be with your slave master. Only difference is they was correlating that to the guard.
okay.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And they was saying since Jesus appointed that guard over you in your cell, if he smack you, you supposed to just take it.
Oh my
This the shit they was teaching.
God.
You know what I
Hey,
mean?
just like them,
So with I think you know what like I said, I understand how it all comes together. I feel like Jesus is us. You know what I mean? We got to understand the walk of Jesus. You know what I mean? And then it may help you understand your path, your life path. I mean, those of us that may go through this awakening. You know what I'm saying? Like I lived a certain way, you know what I mean, damn near my whole life. I got to a point where I feel like, you know what, this shit gotta change. So I started working on that and I disappeared. And you got to. It's like they also say solitude to help you get to this point. And I got to that point. You know what I'm saying?
um,
Damn. Say what?
Kamar. So, and this ain't even me. First of all, let's say this. This ain't me against y'all. Like
Right.
no. This is my father was a Baptist preacher. I have several uncles, a great grandfather, I believe, couple, a line. I have aunties who are evangelists, right? Like, and so as much church as I've been to, I have never heard the doctrine, be a good slave, serve your master. I've never heard that in church. I never heard it in Sunday school.
Well,
I had I had
right.
in-depth talks with my pops about religion all the time because I was a curious kid and I wanted to know what was what. Never at no given point. Now there was the whole thing
It,
about turn the other cheek, but my dad would explain
hey,
that to me as, "Hey man, that's Jesus. That ain't you. You don't turn no other cheek.
right.
You,
But
you better
we got
come
to
and knock
there because
somebody
there
out."
was a point. It's a part in the Bible. It's a part in the Bible where it says, "Do unto your earthly masters as you would your God in heaven."
I believe you. I just
And
never
that's,
heard
I
it.
mean, I'm just saying, and that's how we got into it. So we were like earthly masters. Hold on.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
You know what
obviously
I'm
that's
saying? What the fuck you mean,
yeah,
earthly masters? You talking
right,
obviously
about a
that's flawed.
slave master? So the
right.
slave master in our eyes would be the prison guard. So we wound up talking about that.
Kamar, too, let's make this point for anybody who's listening. Slavery existed on this planet way before it was in America.
Right.
So during
Definitely.
those
We was in
times,
we was in slavery 1200, at least
during
1200
that
years
the story
before
of the
this
the
slavery.
Egyptians, the story of the Egyptians, the story of Pharaoh and all that, and Moses, they were slaves.
We were
So
enslaved. Hey, we were enslaved to Islam and Muslims for 1200 years before
heard that
Christianity.
too. Heard that too. Mama Jenkins said, "Good evening, my outlaw family." Just she said, just fire all those. Teach KB and Kamar because I wasn't raised like that either. I was told to defend myself by any means necessary. I'm a preacher daughter, and we were drugged to church like somebody that had a habit. My outlook on the Bible, those people were some corrupted people. Yeah, I think that is the issue here, Kamar. I think that is the main issue with black people, and this is post-traumatic
Church syndrome?
slave
What?
syndrome, because most of us were made to go to church as young children
Right.
against our will. We didn't have a choice,
Right.
right? You had to sit in there with them shoes on that was hurting your feet.
You know where that
You
comes
was
from?
hungry. You
You
wanted
know
to
where that comes
play,
from?
huh?
You know where
Yeah,
that
I
comes
know where
from?
it comes from. The plantation.
Where?
That's right. The first slaves that got introduced to that shit was resistant. So fucked up shit was happening to them. They was getting killed, getting fucked up,
But
castrated,
then
all kind of shit. And you know
but
what I'm
then it
saying?
also became the only day they
The
had off
parents
all
would
week.
teach. I'm just saying, like the parents would make their kids introduce their kids to it and make them follow it so that fucked up shit wouldn't happen to their kids.
But then it also became the only day of the week
And
you had off.
right,
Where what we gonna do?
exactly.
We gonna fellowship. We gonna praise
We
God to
gonna do
come
what they tell us to
tonight.
do.
We gonna go
You know,
praise God. It's automatic at this point. They ain't even gotta
Yeah.
tell us
right,
to do it. And we're
right.
gonna make the preacher the center of the community. I tell you what, now if you want to look at when the black community was stronger, when the church was at the center of the community, I don't care what nobody says, because there's morality that comes along, even if the people who was preaching it wasn't following it. That moral compass was established when it was at the center of the community. We want to talk about when the church took care of the community, when the
Mhm.
church fed the community. Then so you don't say Jim Crow. I wouldn't with this dude in Florida who says I miss Jim Crow because we sure did get along better then. But at least to the point when religion and having morals, and your grandmothers and your aunties and great and it was elders in the church, and you was covered with prayer. When you was out there in that concrete jungle, when you was in that penitentiary, them old aunties, them old grandmothers go somewhere millions of miles away talking about, Lord, please hold my grandbaby in your hands and don't let no harm come to him. You ain't even know. You ain't even know. So just that effort, just that energy, putting off that of, look, whoever higher power, whoever you are, protect us and give us favor. I don't think it's anything wrong with people doing that. I just, like I said, I think people rebel against it because they was made to go to church. And I will say, like you talked about the Catholic Church scaring you. When I was young, what's the name of the Revelations is what scared me. Revelations is what it, as a little kid in church, that's what scared me. Like the lake is boiling and the earth is on fire and the mark of the beast, and I'm like, damn, I just lied yesterday. I'm going to hell. I was only like 9. I didn't know what the fuck to do. I was scared at night
I was
praying.
even
Please
scared.
don't let the world end tomorrow, Lord. I ain't ready yet. Like, I'm 9 years old. That's real shit. I used to pray.
I ain't
Don't let it
scared
end
of-
tomorrow. I just lied this morning.
You know what? I was scared of the Revelation movies they
No.
showed.
Oh, don't
Yeah,
talk about
Revelation. But when they showed them movies and they showed niggas getting the cold and they
Oh
couldn't get
man.
no groceries and shit was real. They was getting killed. I'm like, oh shit, that's what's
Man,
coming.
the rapture. You
The
ain't
market.
never been to vacation Bible school if you ain't had to watch one of them videos.
Yeah, the movies was kind of wild. Man.
You sitting in there,
Like,
what you crying for? I'm going to hell.
right.
Then you go to church and they say, well, they say, suffer the little children for they shall see God. I'm like, wait a minute, am I going or not? So,
For the little children. What? So
yeah, so
they
that's
say
what
that,
I'm saying.
that just sounds fucked up. Suffer the little children so they shall find God. So
No,
make them suffer
for
so
they
they find
shall
Jesus.
see God. That means basically little children are basically innocent.
Oh,
They're,
well, yeah,
you're not necessarily going to hell, I guess. And I'm no biblical expert, but that's what I took it to, you know what I mean?
I took it
So
as suffer so they find God.
there was
See?
even parts in there we say to parents, don't provoke anger in your child. Like you ain't supposed to be abusing your kid, making them hate you. Like so, but when it was time to get my ass whooped, that quote was just forgotten about. It was time to do that.
Right.
Don't provoke anger in the what?
Cause
Yeah,
I'm mad.
I'm pissed off. I just got to whoop it with an extension cord. Mama, you need to go pray. You need Jesus.
I'm mad.
And that's why we had to go every Sunday, because my parents knew that they had done bad stuff all week And they said, we're going to go on Sunday and give it up for the Lord and start a new Sunday. Start a new week. So I'm just saying, man, a lot of that it gave me a moral compass, though. Even when I was at my worst in the street, I still had a moral compass. Like, it's certain shit I'm not supposed to do. I did know right from wrong. Like, you ain't supposed to be doing this, bro. You know this is wrong. Did a lot of shit anyways, but I knew it was wrong. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Black people always looking for a way to attack each other, man. But shout out to Vince Toney, because I think it was an interesting perspective on, because it leads you to a bunch of other books. I still don't know the author's name. And to tell you the truth, I just didn't feel like writing it out. I'm like, I don't feel like writing that. It was like Murava. It's a famous book, though. Let me see. Mama Jenkins said, I have that Bible. It's a good read, but in today's world, who's reading the Bible? The pastors are not teaching or preaching about saving souls. There's no children in church now. Most of them don't even have Sunday school or youth services or neighborhood ministries in the community where they are. I added that part.
That's right.
If I had a critique of them, it would be that. It wouldn't necessarily be about, trying to find divinity and get redemption for your soul, right? We enjoy nature so much. I'm not stupid enough or naive enough to believe when I'm talking to these rabbits and these squirrels and these birds in my yard that it ain't a higher power that's dictating their behaviors at the same time while dictating mine.
Right.
Like, I think you're stupid to think there's no higher power if you just look at nature. Put a seed in the ground and it grow and you can eat whatever come off the plant.
Yeah.
Like, there's you didn't invent that.
Look at God.
Right.
God did it. Tomorrow, remember I used to have a church music sample I used to play? I got to get that back. I'm Mary, man.
So look, I remember once upon a time I was out in Germany, right? I was a little kid. So we was in this church, it wasn't Baptist or nothing. We was in Germany, and this lady, she standing up, this black lady. It wasn't too many black folks in there. It was a full church, the traditional church you see in the scary movies, It makes me think of Keanu Reeves. Any Keanu Reeves when we were here in the church, that kind of church. But anyway, so the black lady standing up talking, but as she's talking, there's another voice coming out. Like in the scary movies, the demon voice. And then it's her. It's like, so I'm sitting there, I'm a kid. I'm like, nigga. It's one of them things stay in your brain. You like, the fuck is going on in here?
Is that the story? Is that the whole story?
Yeah, just the fact that I was at church. What the lady said. It's the two voices.
I'm like, did you call it Ghostbusters or something? What happened to her?
Yeah, I don't remember. I just remember the voice. I don't remember what happened after that. I was 5 or 6.
Courtney, I've heard tons of stories about somebody getting a demon removed from them in the church. I've never seen it myself. I have seen people catch the Holy Ghost in church and go into a different mode. And it wasn't on me to say they was faking. You know what I mean? The only pattern that I noticed when I was little,
when I first seen it.
The only pattern that I noticed when I was little that made me scratch my chin was it was usually the same people every week at the same time who caught the Holy Ghost.
Right.
And then it made me feel bad because I'm like, why I never get that shit?
I noticed that too.
And I used to be like, she always get it. That ain't fair.
You ever see a kid get up and act like they got it?
I've seen it. Was they acting, Kamar? I don't know. Listen. If you go in church and somebody triggers something that you emotionally, that you have been hiding or you've been sitting on, that you've been dealing with, and you react to it, and you may break down. Some people say that's the Holy Ghost. Sometimes it's psychosis. When you say, I know my grandmother used to get emotional when she said, when I think about all the stuff I've been through and I still made it. Like, that was her testimony. Like, I come from a long, long way, and she would get emotional. I wasn't gonna say, Grandma, you faking.
But would it make her want to start just rocking back and forth and yelling, hollering?
I done seen her bust a step. I done seen her walk all the way across the front of the church, and she was in her 90s. I'm talking about, like, I've seen people where I said that's real, and then I've seen people like, dude need to sit his ass down. Like, and so if I'm sitting in church and I'm this confused, I'm like, I shouldn't be here. Now I feel like I'm doing something wrong because I'm up in here hating, right? Like, I'm spirit hating. I'm in here like, oh, come on, man.
That nigga faking.
Right, come on, man. Like, what do that even mean, what you just said, bro? Like, come on, man. But it's not right of me to do that. I'm just saying it was always my conflict when I was little about why am I not like I'm not getting it? Like something must be wrong with me. I started to think like something must be wrong. Like he'll never jump in. I seen my mother get a little emotional, but once again, it wasn't full-fledged. You know what I mean? She would get emotional when she started thinking about her testimony and saying, last year this time I was in the hospital. Like I could do that. I could start talking about being in the hospital after I had my back surgery and just really like I don't even know what's happening. I'm a cripple now. What just happened? And being out there saying I got to get out of here. If somebody brought that up to me in a couple years, especially after I had overcome it, I might get a little emotional. Say, man, you're right, man. I was on my back. Didn't even know if I was going to be able to walk again. So if I got a little emotional in church, would you say Kev caught the Holy Ghost? Or would you be like, that nigga lying? Probably high.
I feel like the Holy Ghost is different. That's when people get to do it. I mean, would you get to jumping around and all that? Or would you just
I'm going to tell you
fear?
this. If it's me in control, that ain't going to happen. So if you see it, it's truly the Holy Ghost. I can tell you that. If it's me, Kevin, I'm telling you, I get a little emotional. Oh, man, you know what? Thank you, God. Oh, man, I feel that. But if I get up and go, you say, Kev, he done caught it, finally, because I'm not going to fake that.
He done caught it. Got it.
I'm not going to fake that. That ain't nothing to play with to me. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's how I felt when I was little. Like, I'm not going to fake it. If I feel it, I'm ready. I'm here. But it never jumped in me. I was ready to go, man. I was like double Dutch. I was waiting.
Ready. I'm shit. Let me catch it. I'm ready. Give it. Come on.
Tag me in. Tag me in.
Throw
tag
it. Right.
me in.
Throw it.
Hey,
Once
at the
again.
edge of the aisle.
Man,
right. Like, come on.
Let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Oh my gosh.
Hey man, over here. No, because once again, I see my father, he was a preacher, so he would get up and preach. And he would go into his mode and be like, and I'd be sitting there like, okay, Pop, that ain't how you normally talk at home. Okay. And my pops wasn't really no extrovert. He wasn't an actor. He wasn't extra like that. So when he get in that mode, I believed it. Like that's, because he wasn't corny. He wasn't even, because at the church, me and him, I have a conversation, be something totally opposite of church. Because he had to break something down to me, like, look here, Jack, let me tell you this. I'd be like, oh. My mother even be like, oh, hold on, Reb, you done put your collar down. You'd be like, oh, hold on, I'm keeping it a buck now. Hold on, let me tell these boys. So I'm not here to judge anybody's whatever you do. And I'm gonna tell you, if that helps you keep your sanity, having somewhere to go on Sunday morning, so you won't walk into the job on Monday morning and shoot everybody, please go to church. Please go pray. Please
hey, look, that's something else I done saw on my journey too. Like I said, I had different friends in these different religions, right? So I done saw the religions work on different people. And I done saw, people still be foul in all of them, all religions, spiritual systems, you know what I'm saying?
Every last one. And,
the moral code in all of them, you know what I mean, is righteous.
Exactly.
We
each other right and love each other. That's the main thing I get from all of them. That's what we supposed to do, but we just can't get that shit together, huh?
Well, also I think, and I'm brave enough to say I've witnessed some things that I can't explain.
Like what?
I say, well, that's the birth of my children. That's a miracle. Like it's just from conception to birth. It was even in my own self. I've had situations where I had some hurt, and this is when I'm playing ball. And I'd be like, damn, I can't play tomorrow. This ain't gonna work. And all of a sudden I'd be like, wait a minute. And like this is
X-Men, Kev, duh.
Nah, I watched my auntie with a brain aneurysm, and they said they got enough blood off her brain to fill a teacup. She walked around for 25 more years. Straight foot, got up off the hospital bed that night, and next morning was up talking. And she had to be in her late 60s. I can't explain that. X-Man. Okay, X-Man. Well, whatever. I'm just saying, I mean, shit. My father was 40 years old when I was born. So all miracle. And, it's a lot of things I've witnessed.
What if we find out it was aliens?
That would explain it. Then me, the alien, and everybody else need to go sing Jesus is on the main line. Y'all aliens, come on out and let's go to the Baptist church.
Aliens on the main line.
There you go.
Aliens on the main line.
Hey,
I'm
you
saying they
need to
doing all this.
believe. You need to believe in something. The idle mind is the
Why not
devil's
believe
workshop.
in me?
Yeah,
That's tell him, Kamar.
yeah. You need to believe in something. Mama Jenkins said all teaching of religion different, but I was told as a child that there's only one God, and in my house, that is who I serve. I was baptized in a Baptist church, and tonight is a great lesson. It's something that people don't get on Sunday morning. You know, it depends on where you go, right? Like, because I know you can walk in certain places, and because I can sit down and listen to Minister Farrakhan talk forever, but I'm not gonna leave there a Muslim. I'm not gonna become a Muslim overnight. Like, I've always listened to Minister Farrakhan and enjoyed his speeches for what they spoke about Black America and the state of our community. But I never once said I'm converting. I want to
Yeah.
be FOI,
Yeah.
right? Like, so I think the positive messages and positive energy is received no matter where it comes from. For me personally, like, I don't say I would, I would listen, but you like we hate, well, Black people hate white men. We hate the white man, the white man, the white man. My football coach was instrumental in helping me get away from a path I was headed down. He was white as they come. He used you, Kev. He just wants you to play on his team. All right. I seen some cats get used to play on their team and didn't get no aftercare, meaning they didn't get help to go nowhere. Nobody took an investment in them and said, hey, I'm going to make sure you get away from here so you can maximize your talents. He's a white dude. I can't say I hate white people. I fuck white people. I can say white people be on some bullshit most of the time, but not all the time. Kamar, what's our 100% rule? Nothing is 100% true about no group of people. I don't care how you draw it. Right? So, like all Black women who married to white men ain't bed wenches. There's some who still love their people. Now, we kind of gave Precious away. Shout out to Precious, Gabrielle Sidibe. She just
So
had
what
twins.
makes you? I thought just being with a white man in general made you a bad wench. So that's not how it
No,
goes.
what makes you a
So I
bad
can go
wench
get a
is when
white
you
man.
marry that white man and you become white,
Okay. Okay.
right?
Okay.
Just like what makes you an Uncle Tom is when you get with that white man and you lose all your masculinity and dignity. And really we shouldn't say Uncle Tom because Uncle Tom was the good guy in the story.
Yeah.
When we say coon or buck dancer or jigaboo, you emulate the white man, you idolize him. White ice is colder. You start to act like him. Is we sick, boss? That's when it becomes buck dancing. And that's when it becomes bed wenching. I talk shit about Black women, celebrities who marry white dudes and be like, she's a bed wench. That's
But
just
that's
what
how
I
I
do.
treat my Black man. If he's sick, it's like, oh no, babe, we sick. So now
Yeah,
when I
but
say
you with
it's
a
the
Black
white
man.
man, then it's bad wenching.
Yeah, you on the other side.
Wait a minute.
I'm gonna teach you. I'm gonna teach you how to eat greens and all that shit. You're a bad wench.
Wait a minute.
So
You
he could
just
wake up
said
in the morning and be
acting
like,
like them
you
made
know
me a
what,
bad
sweetie, I
wench.
want
So
you to
now,
make me some black eyed peas and cornbread, Laquita. And you be like, I'm
that's
in here.
bad wenching. So first it was acting like them, and now just being yourself, making greens and black eyed
Oh,
peas.
stop catering. Stop. He's your master. Now he's not your
That's what it
man.
turned into now.
He's not your man. He's your master. Right? You're his bed wench. You're his experiment. You buddy. Look, Ma. Look what I found. Oh my God, a Negro. Look, I can be conflicted where I want to be. Everybody else has conflict.
I see. It's fine. Fine.
Hey, but I always hit that up by saying, if you find somebody who love you, I don't care what color they are, because everybody don't love you, and some people I wouldn't personally get with Precious. So if she found a man who loved, and most of my homeboys wouldn't. Now I got a couple that'll rock with her, like Kim. I don't care what you say. But most of us would be like, nah, straight. She cool, bro. Like, if she go to school, man, she was cool. I'd be nice to her.
Oh my God.
She ain't be like,
Oh, man,
let's go to the movies. I'm be like, all right, let's go. So I'm not mad if he came in and said, I'm caping. I'm caking. And shout out to her. She found somebody who loves her. She now has twin children.
Do she?
Yeah, she just had twins.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, shout out to her, man.
Shout out.
Shout out to all the bed wenches all over the world. I'm down with y'all. I'm down with y'all. Y'all keep on getting y'all a Tim or a Timmy.
I mean, is it not that they tried black man first?
Here we go with that bullshit.
I'm just
That's what also makes you that. Now that's
I
the
mean,
number one. That would classify you as a bed wench over everything else. If you said, "I tried black men, they don't know how to
like
treat them."
Cassie tried with Diddy and all them years and all of that. I might go to a white man too. Like hell no.
Well, who really? I don't. You know. I mean, after the industry dudes
Holly
had knew,
Berry, was she
if
not
those
being
industry dudes knew what Puffy had been doing to Cassie, so they wasn't gonna rock with her.
Holly
Like,
Berry?
he used to pee on her. Like nobody want.
They knew she was on lock.
Right. And if you fucked with her, you liable to get a visit in the middle of the night. That's coming out now. Take that.
Right.
Take that. Right. Everybody was joking about them shiny suits. He was whooping niggas' ass. Vince, what up? What up? He said, "What up, Outlaws?" Vince, I was talking about the book, man, the How to Make a Negro Christian book, and you missed it. I don't know if you were on, but you missed it. So, well, I guess we can chop it up later if you want to. We can talk about it, Vince. You know how we do. But what else I got here? Oh, did y'all see? Now, first of all, somebody tell me. I don't know if y'all know who Pat McAfee is. Pat McAfee is like a commentator. He's like a shock jock. He's known for his controversial takes on everything. But he had this quote about and I don't know if this is real. I put this in the People's News Network, and somebody said, I think this is fake, where he said, if I was Caitlin Clark, if one of them ghetto bitches ran into me, I'd go and try to snatch their weave out. I don't know if he really said that or not. I'm waiting. Maybe it was false. I don't want to report fake news. But see, that's the kind of shit that needs to see, because we quick to check each other.
Yeah.
Right. If you black in that industry, somebody need to be to see him. Like, partner, let me straighten you a little bit. Not that it's about not that it's about, you know.
But
like
what about all the black folks that's taking side with that?
You know, that are agreeing with him?
Yeah.
Who agree?
Like LeBron come out and said some shit like Caitlyn is the reason why y'all need to chill out, because Caitlyn is the reason why y'all get more attention. Caitlyn is the reason why Caitlyn, but it ain't that. You know what I mean?
That was boot licorice.
Oh, so that's why
Angel Reese done made Chicago ticket sales triple since she been there. You know what I'm saying? So, and she ain't the only one. You know what I mean? Who teams have been like that. Only thing is, I feel like that's the only person that the media is putting out there like that, and that's why she getting treated like that.
Okay.
That's what I believe.
Hey, well, what sport, when it's a great white hope, what sport don't they get celebrated? Like I mean, Colin Kaepernick lost his career for kneeling. Tim Tebow was a hero for kneeling. That just goes to show you the double standard right there. That goes without saying. Like, see, that's what I'm saying. When we know something is bullshit, we should just label it that and just keep it pushing. Because all of this is just free publicity, and any good publicity is good for the WNBA because they need it. Their league has been shitty. That's why like the contracts that Caitlyn and Angel Reese got don't even equal up to like one of KD checks. like he's like, what? I'll buy y'all team. What you talking about? Like, so, and because we know what the NBA generates. So, but I'm just saying, like, I
think they trying to use Caitlyn as like a poster child to say why the WNBA is becoming popular.
Of course they are, for white America, because just like Angel Reese sell jerseys, Caitlyn does too.
Right.
It's like why Larry Bird was a great white hope versus Magic Johnson when the NBA was on his ass when Magic Johnson and Bird came out of college. It was the same kind of hype. Same kind of we playing for the national title and Magic beat Bird. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it propelled the NBA into the universe. Well, once they clean that and the cocaine up, if you do history on the NBA, in the early 80s, everybody did cocaine except for two people in the NBA. Kareem and Dr. J. The only two motherfuckers gonna do cocaine. But yes, I don't, put some pain where it ain't for me. It's one of them situations where I'm not really tripping off of that. But I did see, now I don't know if you, Kamar, I didn't hear you mention this, and Rail is not here tonight, so I didn't talk to Courtney. I didn't get to see the new Bad Boys. I've loved the Bad Boys films. I love the first two, not necessarily the third one. I've only seen that once though. It went a little far for me. Like once you start getting to Fast and Furious type shit, my brain turns off. I'm like, I don't want to see this. So they say that this fourth one is like the biggest thing. I mean, like one of the better ones, and they said that it gained what did it make $100 million globally.
Wow.
So yeah, yeah. So it's 56 million in the United States, which is hard to do now because people don't go to the theaters post COVID like they used to. But Stephen A. Smith, who is the Mr. ESPN, right? And Stephen A. Smith tends to put his mouth in everything, as he should. He's a personality, gets money to do it. It's in the space that I wish I was in, where I could just talk shit about everything and everybody and get paid to do it. And so he says, I'm not gonna go see Bad Boys because Will Smith owes the black community an apology for slapping Chris Rock.
Man.
They have been clowning Stephen A. Smith, right? Like, Will Smith don't owe the black community a damn thing, man. He don't owe us shit.
Cause niggas shitted on him anyway about that.
And the truth of the matter is most of us as brothers, not at the Oscars or whatever they was at, but if you jump up with the microphone and go to talk about my girl, I'm probably gonna close the distance on you. I'm gonna come see you. Hold on, player, what you doing? This just happened to happen on television. And I said a long time ago, I said, look, Will Smith, all he has to do, and I feel like he still should do this, if he really wants to get back in America's good graces, just come back and play a really bad guy in a movie. Now, it's good that he chose the bad boy joint because he's a cop and he's a hero and all this kind of stuff. But he needs to take on a role where you see Will Smith like you've never seen him, all black, just assassinating people, right? Like then America will be like, Will, he's such a great actor. Denzel ain't getting no Academy Award till he played a crooked ass cop.
I mean, but Will been getting rewards though. So you saying he need to go be a bad guy? And,
well, to get his spot back where he was. He BET famous now. They set him back a little bit.
He don't want that spot back. His ass getting old. How old is he?
He won't it. Watch him. Watch him. In the next 2 years, in a film directed by so and so and so. And it's gonna be Will Smith as a serial killer. Hello, Mr. Smith, the movie and shit. He's gonna win an Academy Award. They're gonna let his ass come back for that shit. This man. He's an entertainer, man. Yeah, Stephen A. Smith. Yeah, he's just for slapping Chris Rock. First of all, that shit's old, right? Like, come on, man. I mean, motherfuckers get slapped every day, B. Right? We already know that. Yeah, motherfuckers get slapped all the time, man.
Yeah.
Who else? I haven't seen any. Thank God we didn't have the cicadas. The cicadas, I guess that plague some places in more rural Wisconsin. So we don't even have to talk about that.
Why they be bothering you? Do they really bother you?
Well, they said that every 17 years, because I guess they live underground, and that's how they live off tree sap in these rural areas, and they come out every 17 years and mate and then die by the millions. So like it comes like a storm of cicadas, and this is in not West Bend. What's the place? The luxury high price place. I can't remember the name of it. Lake Geneva. They got just millions dead, and once they mate, they die. So there's just dead bugs everywhere, and it smells like dead bugs. They pretty fat too. I just read the story today. I just read the story today. They talking about them.
Just smell like dead bugs.
Yeah, the air smells like decomposing insects, is what it said in the journal.
Yes, it is a big deal down there, Courtney.
And they are big. They're not small. They're big. Yeah. So
I want to see it.
Oh, yeah, it ain't that far. Jump in the whip. Dion, what's poppin', man?
Here. Well, I'll pull up a box.
None of you talking about the cicadas.
Yeah, you
ain't nobody. Yeah, I mean, shit. Just last week when I came, I was coming through Chicago and I hit 90. God damn it, that's all you heard was them motherfuckers. I heard up and let my window up. Like, fuck that. The one of them motherfuckers fly up in this truck, I'm gonna kill everybody on the highway. I ain't lying to you. I don't fuck with them insects. But I was listening to you guys. You know, I don't know if I'm behind. I was listening to you guys talk about religion and stuff like that. And I just wanted to chime in on that. And me, myself, personally, you know what I'm saying? I believe as a creator. I believe that we was indoctrinated to believe in God because I sit up here, you know, people, yeah, it's a lot of things we've been indoctrinated to believe in and people don't question it. And I asked, and I stood up there and I said, well, if Mary knew that she was having Jesus, why Mary didn't chronologically write his life? If you look at all the people in the Bible, those are European names. From Peter, Paul, Matthew, Mark, Luke, all those are European names. And the Bible was written, the Bible that we read, version of the Bible, we know King James was a homosexual. He was a madman. But my thing is, I be asking people, because a lot of people just don't, we indoctrinated with it, so we don't question it. We don't sit up there and think about it. But I said, can you sit up there and actually fathom and think that it was just something before this earth or this universe or whatever this realm we in, it just was out there. It just was out there. And then one day it was like, well, I'm going to create the heavens and I'm going to create the earth and I'm going to create these people to worship me and cherish me. You know, like that's unfathomable. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's just it's almost null and void. It's almost null and void. Like it's unbelievable that this entity. And then when we call an entity, we give it a sexuality. We say the Father, or we say Him, or we say because God, when we say Him, I'm a Him. Or when we say Father, well, we know Father is male. But if this entity has just always been there, how does it develop this sexuality, this identity for sexuality? But like I said, we don't question the existence of it because it was indoctrinated, ingrained in us, in our DNA, that it's a God. And then we pray to it. We be like, oh, pray this, we do this, we do this. And I asked the person, I said, well, why the devil can't come and ask for forgiveness? Well, because the devil can't do that. But why? And if the Creator created Satan, he knew Satan.
Dion,
what?
Let me say this before you even reel off all these questions. I'm gonna ask you honestly: have you ever gone and sat down with somebody who was versed in these things and asked them these questions? You just because right now what you're doing is you just automatically assuming this is all fake and this is all false and there's no explanation for any of it. But unless you go and sit down with somebody who has this knowledge and let them answer your questions, even if you don't believe what they say, listen at what they say, just like we're doing right now. Because see, I used to bring Dre Love on the show, and he used to kind of answer questions about religion for people. And I know Dre, shout out to Dre. He's moved. I think he's like down south. So I don't know. Dre moved. And I don't know if Dre was exactly comfortable with the environment because, we was loose, a little loose. But I'm saying instead of you just asking these questions and saying, well, this is why I don't believe in it because this looks funny to me. You need to go and sit down with somebody who can explain it to you. Because a lot of preachers can say, well, hold on, you got that wrong. That's not how that's actually written. They'll pull up their Bible and say, this is the actual scripture, right? And sometimes context can get away because I'm going to tell you how I know this to be true. Because I would always say, I didn't say it. People were telling me like, hey, man, you married, your wife is supposed to be, she's supposed to submit to you. It said in the Bible, she's supposed to submit to you. She's supposed to submit to you. Until you say that to my wife who goes to church and she'll pull out her Bible and say, it says, as long as you love me like the church loved Jesus. Who can match that? I guess I'm never getting submitted to. Jesus loved the church. Like, so you got to know you have to know the whole scripture. And sometimes we take pieces and we fit it and we say, well, that's why I don't believe it. That's because it don't make sense. Like you said, because they use names in the Bible that were, because the Bible, I guess, allegedly was written in Hebrew. So if the names was in Hebrew, would you even be able to know how to say them? It's a dead language.
It was written in Aramaic.
I was always thought it was written in Hebrew. I don't know, but whatever it was, it's a dead language.
But see, the reason if somebody came and tried to give me an explanation, I wouldn't believe them because want me to tell you why? Where did you get this explanation from?
Where did I get which explanation?
I'm saying if somebody tried to came and explain it to me, and I'll be like, well, where did you get this explanation from? You understand what I'm saying?
So you rather be lost than get clarity. You rather be lost and say, well, you can't tell me where you got it from. So I just rather be confused.
The reason I don't necessarily believe it's clarity. You want me to tell you why? The reason I don't believe it's clarity because there is no clarity to it, because if you think about it, okay, we'll go off the scripture. We'll start at Genesis. Adam and Eve. Was Adam and Eve, was they created fully grown? Was they teenagers? Were they adolescents? How can someone explain that to me?
Go ask a preacher.
They can't.
They can.
Let me tell you what. I'm gonna tell you this.
So okay, so how do you think people got here? You think we just always have? It's just always been humans, and then all of the story of how the earth evolved, and people like, you just believe it just was always been here. Nobody created it; it's just been here.
I believe in intelligent design. I believe that we were created. I do. But
who was it? Joe Jackson that created us? He did the Jackson 5.
I could be wrong about that too, because we could have evolved. You understand what I'm saying? See, we don't know. That's why we believe that God took Adam. Because if you look at a woman and be like, well, why does a woman have an extra rib? Scientifically, it can be explained because a woman has to give birth, and she needs that extra rib for her to carry a baby, and also down in her pelvic area for it to contract for the baby to come through her cervix and to be born into the world through her vaginal opening. You understand what I'm saying? That's the scientific explanation on that. But see, as I stated before, no matter how...
Well, who you get that from? Wait, who you get that from? Who told you that?
Science.
Well, who's Science? Where they live at? What's their address? Where Science live at?
Well, Science, there's like Dr. Fauci.
Whoa, Tex, hold on. You believe science? You always talk about indoctrination, and you talk about the white man, and you just told me you wouldn't believe what a preacher told you, because he wouldn't be able to tell you to get it from where he got it from. But you never asked your science teacher in school what school you went to, what professor taught you biology. You just accepted it because you just named it all. You just gave a whole explanation of how a woman has birth. You got that from somebody. That's what I'm saying. Right?
But see, that's what I'm saying. This argument go back and forth because you are a believer, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't knock nobody.
Well, no, common sense is common sense. You just said it yourself. You believe one and not the other, and you've chosen to believe one, which I do believe. The white man gave you a definition of science, which I know people say black people invented science, we invented knowledge and all this kind of stuff. I know that. But the science teacher you had when you was in school wasn't one of them Kemet people. It was Mr. Amislowski, who had went to UW goddamn Oshkosh in the 60s and learned some shit from an old scientist or an old biology professor who probably still thought black people had tails. But you never questioned him, but you'll question a man of God. That makes no sense. If you're gonna question one thing, question it all. Don't tell me I gotta check my sources over here, but you don't gotta check yours over here.
Well, I believe if we check those sources about a woman having an extra rib, it's gonna be 99.99.9%. That's why she got. You
believe, but you don't know for sure.
I believe it.
All right, okay. So you just called me a true believer. So you're a true scientist believer. You're a Scientologist. Right?
But,
okay.
Hold on, Kel, let me finish. But as I was stating though, the only reason and another reason, we have no explanation on how we got here. So the closest explanation that we can have is that we was created. But then I ask people this, they'll be like, well, Adam and Eve had Cain and Abel. Cain killed Abel, but if Cain killed Abel, where did Cain's wife come from? Because if you read the book of Genesis, it speaks about Cain having a wife. You feel what I'm saying? So it just be so much. And when I hit people with this, they'll try to come back to me with something else. But it's just like we could dialect on this forever. You know what I'm saying?
You can go back and forth don't mean you're right. No, it don't mean you.
That don't mean they're right. That don't mean they're right.
It don't mean it right. So really what you're doing is it's a fruitless pursuit. Because ultimately you got to come into a situation trying to gain some understanding. If you don't know how to read, you go to somebody who can read to teach you how to read. So if you don't understand the word of God, you go to somebody who understands the word to get the word. It's just that simple. Now, if you don't believe in that, then it's like I can go to school and listen to the science teacher and say, I don't believe in none of that. And they're going to fail me. I'm not going to pass. There's other ramifications. But if I'm not looking for enlightenment, I'm not going to receive it. If I'm not looking for this, I'm never going to receive it. If I go into the conversation saying I don't want to believe what he says, why am I talking to him? So, and you right in not talking to one. But don't tell me you talk to a science teacher and you can accept what he said.
I just believe the reason we believe in it, because it was a story that was passed down, and it gives us an explanation on why we here, why things happen, why things are bad, why things are good. Because when something bad happens, we be like, "Oh, the devil trying to get to me." The devil. Well, who said? And you don't never hear in the
I'm
Bible
gonna
where they
cut
talking
this
about the devil.
conversation off because we just gonna keep going back. It's never gonna stop, and it's almost 10 o'clock. So I got to get off the air.
Man, we always got to get off at 10
Yeah,
o'clock, man.
yeah.
Do we know where our kids are at 10 o'clock?
I don't know. I wouldn't believe nobody if they told me. I'd be like, "Who told you?" I'm gonna start saying that every time somebody tell me something. Who told you that? I'm be like, what's on that sandwich? Ground beef, 2 all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. I'm like, who told you that? Who said that's beef?
Man, Kev, but that's true though. Indoctrination is a strong thing, man.
Yeah, so
you understand what I'm saying?
So is paralysis by analysis. Meaning you study long, you study wrong. Sometimes you can just sit there and think about it too long. That's why they got the statue, the thinker, where he's sitting there with his head like this. He just done stopped all progress because he can't stop thinking. Sooner or later, you got to act. And like Kamar just quoted the great Ice Cube song of saying, you got to believe in something. So anybody wants to say you something, say you might as well believe in me. The science teacher. You want to pass this class? Yeah. But you might as well believe in me because I'm going to get you a B or A. And then
why is that guy sitting back there laughing, though? I hear her in the background.
I don't hear nobody laughing.
Well, I heard Courtney laugh.
I believe Courtney's a female. I didn't know she was a guy.
He just be stuff. I think Deion needs to sometimes reevaluate himself. That's all.
Hey, Courtney.
There you go. Hit that bacteria.
Yeah, I'm still.
Kamar, could you please get this man some elderberry, please?
Kamar gonna be like, he don't believe in the elderberry.
All right, who told you?
You gotta come get it.
Deion, go get the elderberry.
You know where I'm at. He pulled up on us the other day, and he was sick.
I remember that.
For you.
No, you need the elderberry because that's gonna attack what's wrong with you. The ginger probably cleared you up, but that elderberry gonna flush you, and it's gonna prevent other stuff from attacking your immune system. Let me guess, you don't believe us. Who told us that, right? Kamar, who told you?
Well, ain't it almost 10 o'clock here?
Yeah, that's why you right. You right, Deion. I'll holler at you. Love, peace and love.
All right.
Sound like Miles Davis. Love, Kev.
Do something to make me feel better.
Yeah, make fun of a sick person, even. Vince says, when we were enslaved in this strange land, they stopped us chanting, which was a way of worshiping their God. I can't keep that conversation. Vince, we got to talk on the phone. I can't. I'm exhausted. I can't even. It's just too much. And that's why I say I respect everybody's belief. Like, you got the right to believe what you want to believe. I'm never the one to sit here and try to turn you out on that. Like, that's everybody got to deal with whoever they got to deal with if it is an afterlife. We don't know. Ain't nobody been able to really come back and accurately tell me. No, see, kid, what it was like a drive-through, right? You pull up and you put your card in there, and either they raise the thing or they lower it. Nobody ain't came back to tell me, so I don't know. So I'd rather be able to have faith. And when I am down and out, I can go and say, hey, let me go talk to something bigger than me in this universe that can put me in the right alignment so that I can receive a blessing.
They come baback, man, dog really is up there at the gate, man. He got a book with everything you did, nigga.
Right. What if they
saw your name?
Remember all that shit you said on Outlaw Radio when you saying it wasn't no him?
Saw your name.
He asked me about you. It's bad that we laugh at certain stuff. Like we laugh at shit sometimes. People like, that's not funny.
Like, God, look, I just ain't know, man. I just wasn't sure. I just don't do me like that. I just ain't know, man. I just ain't know.
Hey, man. My mother and my father put that quote in my head when I was little that he said, if you deny me in front of other people, I will deny you. And so I said, I'm always going to say, no, hold on. I don't care where I'm at. Hold on now. Y'all better look. Shout out to Jesus. Y'all don't have me out here like that.
Man, look, we ain't deny you. We just said it was a creator. We always said
no. He said, if I deny him, if I say, no, I don't believe in that, in front of people, then he will not believe in me. That's what they told me, man.
Oh no.
Listen.
Hey, look, hey, that's how they kicked it on them old. Like I was watching, what movie was that? Vikings Valhalla, right?
Okay.
And then the Christians on there, that's how they kicked it too. Like you have to denounce some, or the Vikings and the Christians. Like if you want to go, you have to denounce Christianity like that. Like, no, I do not. Or yes, I do. And then they make you do it 3 times. You know how they said it in the Bible. You denounce me 3 times or something like that. I think it said.
Okay.
And that's how they would actually have a motherfucker do it. And it was just funny to me that they really did that shit, right?
Right.
You have to denounce him.
Listen, man. I want to get. We're gonna get out of here. I hope everybody has a good week. We got to get. I don't know what was up with the Facebook feed tonight, but that's why we got. And shout out to Courtney, because a long time ago, Courtney said, "Why all the shows on your page? Why don't you make an Outlaw Radio page?" Right? And if we didn't have that tonight, we wouldn't have had a Facebook presence. And it's actually maybe a blessing in disguise, because it gives y'all, a lot of y'all, a chance to go and like the page, right? And so maybe we'll be able to just direct all the traffic over there eventually. But we'll see what happens Wednesday night. We'll be back. Kamar, you got anything popping between now and Wednesday?
Just a house of vitality.
Okay. What about you, Courtney?
This Saturday at the Wisconsin Black Chamber of Commerce, it is the Men Who Cook Taste the Black Milwaukee event. So from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., it's just going to be black folks with food, black men with food. So come on down and taste some food, the black men and cook.
This black man to be down here with y'all favorite tea.
Exactly. And then grab some tea, maybe grab some tea before you come down there or after you get done, so you can, rinse it all down. Either or.
Better come get it.
And shout out to Jimmy Rizzo, who was trying to troll us. I blocked you. It's fuck you.
Aha, Jimmy.
Trying to troll us and shit. Man, fuck you. We ain't on that. Listen, anytime you got a platform, anytime you got a microphone in your face, you got the stage you're standing on, we have to understand that you have a very, very, very deep responsibility, whether you want to accept it or not, because there are people who listen to what you say. And even though we all are pretty opinionated and we feel like we're in our lanes and this is what I believe, there are a lot of people who are looking for something, and they're easily misguided. And I watch, and I've talked about this sister before, and every time I really want to give her a pass, she does something more asinine. And I'm talking about Tiffany Haddish. And she went on this rant on stage talking to some kids about, I guess she was doing a show, and some of these college kids said something to her about, kids protesting on the college campus. She went into this rage about fuck college. I didn't go to college. I don't give a fuck about college, and fuck college. But the thing was, she was very ignorant in what she was talking about. She didn't know sheep shit from wild honey. And it's like, yeah, well, maybe you should have gone. Like, it don't sound like you didn't listen much in the classroom. And so we know she's been on the red carpet with fried chicken in her purse, and we've seen her make an ass out of herself. Oh my God, man. She's chasing Shakira around. Shakira.
How old is she, man?
She's
That's
gotta
probably
be
why
40.
left her ass. I got time for this shit.
She gotta be 40. And then she's always been just this hound of a bed wench for white men. Like she can't some come over when she see one. And so in her latest fucking stupor, she comes out, she's talking to Leonardo DiCaprio, and she's saying, yeah, I want to F you, but I want you to play the character from on one condition. You have to be the character from this movie he did a long time ago. Can't remember the name of the movie, but the funny part is that he played a mentally ill character. Like this character was mentally ill.
Not from eating Gilbert Grape.
Yes, that's it. That's it. And so I'm just like, my sister.
Oh my gosh.
Like, and I've seen her just being
Gilbert Grape.
Yeah, and I've never seen this movie, but I'm looking at, I'm like, she said, well, yeah, he probably wasn't even thinking about me because, she was interviewing with somebody else, but she was talking to Leonardo DiCaprio, and she said, well, he's not into me because I'm too old, because I guess he got a 26-year-old girlfriend. I'm like, nah, he ain't into you because he don't like black women. You ever seen him with one? Right? He don't want no bed wench. He want one of his own alabaster super cunts to lay with. He don't want you. He want the ivory tower. He want to be on the stairway to heaven. So, sometimes you just think, I know you're a comedian, but we in a day and age now where being a comedian is not an excuse for being a buffoon, right? to really talk about social commentary and make a few jokes and tell a few stories that's funny now is cool. We don't want to see you come out there and dance a jig in blackface. That's no
Yeah.
longer popping, right? So, and there's a bunch of comedians who, it's a bunch of entertainers. I know me and Kamar used to go back and forth because I used to be like, man, sometimes I just wish entertainers would shut the fuck up. And then sometimes you'd be like, I wish they would speak up. So Kamar used to be like, Kev, I don't know what you want them to do. Sometimes you tell them shut the fuck up. Sometimes you tell them to speak up. And I said, well, only thing they can do is wait for me to tell them what to do. Since they're entertainers, like they do in their movies, right? The director tells you what to do. So have that same energy when it comes to speaking on social issues. Wait until we tell you what to do. It's the same with Stephen A. Smith saying some dumb shit. Wait until we tell you to speak. It's this dumbass Senator Trump Negro bootlicker that I was talking about in Florida. Talking about I wish we can go back to Jim Crow times. We toyed with the conversation. His name is Byron Donalds. He's a Republican from Florida. You know that's some dumbass shit. Ain't nobody going back to Jim Crowism. That shit's a wrap, partner. You have to figure out how to get unified a different way, man. And so, if you heard anything on this show that offended you, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Because we on our show try to be people who our criticism of the community is not outweighed by our contribution to it. So if you did hear something on the show and you felt like it offending you, and you feel a certain kind of way, you can kiss my ass. I'll see y'all Wednesday. Peace and love.